Good Tuesday afternoon. It is a great night on SimWorld U here on CBS, and we've got ourselves a top 10 duo between the number 1 ranked team, unbeaten Kentucky, going up against number 7 UConn. We are in Storrs, Connecticut for this one. I am Marsh, joined. Normally your prep guy, here he is, calling some Big East SEC matchups. It's Maestro. Good afternoon, Maestro. We've got ourselves a dandy.
Yes, we do, and I just want to appreciate you, as always, from picking me up from the airport and explaining to me why every time you put on your underwear, you don't need to hear your underwear say, yeah, baby. So I appreciate that, Marsh.
That's what we try to do. We got ourselves what should be a dandy. The number 7 team in the country, UConn, 2 straight national championship games under the helm of Dan Hurley. They're going up against an unbeaten Kentucky squad. Let's start with Kentucky. This has been really good team, 7-0 in the start of the season. It's been Jamison Johnson. It's been Glory Tate leading the way for the Wildcats.
You know, we're talking about 2 franchises that in one way or another, and I'm calling them franchises, I know they're universities, but you're talking about 2 programs that have historically found a way to be there one way or another. We've always known about Kentucky historically back from the days of Adolph Rupp-Wright. And Kentucky, the men's basketball team was dominant, the women's basketball team was dominant, now the men's basketball team is dominant again. Those names have always been there, truly living up to their history as the Blue Bloods.
Kentucky, the only team with a substantial number of games under their belt that remain unbeaten. They try to take that here to UConn, who sits at 5-3. But UConn, no slouch. The big question mark for the Huskies was, what was this team going to look like after the departure of their entire starting 5 from last season's national championship runner-up? We're going to talk about that. We're going to take a quick break. Coming back here, Kentucky and UConn. Oh, I beg your pardon. We're staying right here. We got that. So let's talk about that. UConn, a team that had plenty of turnover, but they've started to find their mark right now, and a lot of that comes from the man that's at the free throw line right now, one Fareed Redmond.
Yeah, you brought up something earlier, Marsh, when we were talking about this. You talked about who are we going to look at in terms of being able to, let's say, be the, I don't want to say bell cow, that's not a good word for Kentucky, I guess the bell wolf. And how this team is going to press themselves outright. So, you got Fanine, you got Fareed Redmond here, who is the top highest ranked player on the team, but he has a lot of support around him. And I'm interested to see how that talent around him is going to get used tonight. I think that's going to tell us a lot about where they think this program is right now and where they're looking to the future for help.
And it's going to be a matchup as that bucket goes from Glory Tate between him and one Glory Tate and Fareed Redmond, 2 guys that could end up being lottery picks. Fareed Redmond making the case to be a little bit higher than where he's currently ranked, which is 27th among most pundits on average. Those 2 are going to be going toe-to-toe, and it's going to be what I would expect to be a game.
Yes, absolutely. And we have something I really love tonight. We got 2 legitimate bigs that are going. I think eventually, as the game settles down here, because both teams can get up and down the court like nobody's business, I think the 2 bigs between Malcolm Oliver for UConn and for Jamison Johnson for Connecticut. For Kentucky. I think that's a matchup really to watch, because I believe you're right in that the guard play is going to tip the scale, but I got a feeling that part of the weight on that scale is going to happen with our 2 7-1 guys going against each other.
And Malcolm Oliver, the junior, is not necessarily an offensive savant, but what he does is play defense very well. Leads the team with 7.5 rebounds and 0.9 blocks. It's why his defense is why many scouts, analysts expect him to be a potential draft pick. Maybe not this season, maybe potentially one more year at the SimWorld U level, but a high-octane, good defender, very Mitchell Robinson-esque.
Great pull by you, Dr. Marsh. Good job. Give me your flower right now. Give me your flower right now.
There's a foul called here on Oliver, and that's going to send Glory Tate to line. Glory Tate 6'5" on the roster sheet. Plays bigger than that, though. He's a versatile defender, second on the team, 18.5 points per game. He's a deadly 40% three-point shooter. He checks all the boxes. In your opinion, Maestro, you're always kind of looking at the prep to the college level, so let's take the college to the pro level. a guy like Glory Tate at 6'5", do you project him in today's SWBA as more of a 2 guard next to, maybe a bit bigger lineup, or do you think at 6'5" he can still play the
Man, see, Mark, that's why I don't like working with you, because you always give me the questions nobody else does. In this world of positionless basketball, leave it to you and that big brain of yours to give me a position basketball question. I'll tell you something straight up. I see him fitting in more of a 2, but that team will have to be a very kinetic center team, and by that I mean being able to go off of the 3/4 offense or defense change into transition. I think he would fit in there naturally. I'm not saying that he can't learn to play the other style of game where it's more of a setup to transition and movement, but with his athleticism, I just don't see any borders on his game, and I think with the way the NBA game is going now, he's someone who can find a way to fit in either way.
Pull-up jumper there. That's the first non-free throws here for the Huskies. As Jameson Johnson going at Malcolm Oliver. Oliver winning round 1 of that matchup between the two prolific, well-known big men. So here comes Norman Nations trying to get rolling. Reed Redmond taking him, Glory Tate off the dribble. Switch for Oliver. A little bit of an opportunity here. Guarded by the much smaller defender inside. That's Trav Cunningham. That's 2 points for UConn.
What a tough move in the mid-range, in the traffic, being able to turn like that. It just shows you where his athleticism is. And oh, by the way, being on a team like UConn, to say where his athleticism is, I think we might as well just put that on the table. Just know that that's going to be said a lot tonight.
Which there puts Booba Morgan on Jameson Johnson. The result is exactly what you would expect. Now, these are 2 teams play a lot of man defense. Maestro, the switch approach for UConn, do you think this is one where you might try to tamper down the amount of switches you do as a block there on Reed Redmond's drive?
I think it would have to do with the flow, Marsh, and I'll tell you why I say that. If I want to put you in a position to have to make a couple of extra steps, whether it's going from man to zone or zone to man, that's when I'm going to think about doing that. In other words, catch you as you're coming up the floor, reset my defense to make you think about where I'm at right now. But if I'm in the flow of getting good transition buckets, getting good stops, or getting easy buckets, I'm going to stay right where I am and make you come to me.
D'Angelo Muto, we get another look at that. Muto, the Atlanta native, is really taking on the shot blocker role for this team. It's Malcolm Oliver running to the rim. Off the inbound pass, and UConn back up 3. Back to Muto, leads the team 1.2 blocks. Jameson Johnson, that you expect to be maybe the anchor of the defense, just 0.3 blocks per game. A lot of that is from Muto just kind of, it seems, Maestro, taking over the want and the responsibility of being the big man in the paint.
Yeah, absolutely. And, just to kind of put that out there, a little bit better footwork. I'll just say it that way. Just a slightly better footwork coming from the other side. And I think once Johnson sort of gets that part of his game together, get his lower body and his upper body to kind of be on the same person more regularly, I think that'll make him more dangerous. Love the back of the bench. Love the back of the bench.
Trav Cunningham, foul called. They're all good. Sends Norman Nations to the free throw. These will be the 5th and 6th free throws of the game already for the Huskies. They've attacked the paint. 3 team fouls on the Wildcats here, and we're not even 5 minutes into this top 10 matchup. Could have been the game of the week, 1-7. But of course, we got the game of the week coming up later on this week. Tennessee and Memphis, a little in-state rivalry. Tennessee been struggling. Out goes Jameson Johnson. In comes Jinsong Dang at the 5 here for the Wildcats.
So smart, attacking what's going on inside, understanding that you have a team, though they're number 1, though they're undefeated, though they have a lot of games, make them get into their bench early. Give yourself a chance to get your 1s versus their 2s, so to speak. Give yourself a chance to get a little lead, or at least maintain yourself within the vision range. I'm not saying that UConn can't do that, Marsh, but the idea here is, how do I take the bullets out of your gun, and how do I do that? Get your big guys on the bench fast.
Well, getting rolling is Glory Tate with a little spin move off the isolation attack of Reed Redmond, his 2nd bucket of the afternoon. He's got 5, and UConn back down to a 1-point game. Here's Norman Nations trying to go inside, and good rebound from Dang, stopping Malcolm Oliver from getting a second chance opportunity and running the rim. D'Angelo Muto can't get that one to go. Good defense on the interior there from Hassan Abdallah.
So impressive with the activity here. And you know, I'm going to be honest with you, Marsh. I kind of thought it was going to be more of a up and down, up and down, up and down. It's not quite the tempo I thought it was going to be, but it's not far from it.
They bring the double this time. Oliver leaving Deng wide open, and they're going to go to him. Can't make him pay. And that's the difference, right? When you don't have Jamison Johnson out there, it's a little bit different fear factor in terms of leaving the big man, bring the double on the second.
Absolutely. So well said. And oh, by the way, that often happens to younger players. They get the ball that wide open in the floor, and it's like, wait a minute, I don't smell anybody. Nobody's next to me. I don't feel anybody hand on my back. Oh, I can shoot it. You know, and by that time, the defense will collapse on him and had reacted to him.
Good take there from Fareed Redmond on Deng. So tough offensive defensive sequence for Deng. Trav Cunningham in the corner. Beg your pardon. That's going to be Stephon Banks or Burks draining that corner triple. First three of the afternoon. We're back even here, approaching the 13-minute mark, just past 14. Up top, Norman Nations. And that is going to be a foul called on Burks.
Yes, it is. Did he activate his international plan before he made that phone call? Because that's going to be really expensive. That was so far away. My goodness.
A deep corner three goes in. Out goes Glory Tate. So big question mark here for Kentucky. Where are you going to get the offense? Adonis Knight has been their spark plug off the bench. He checks in. 12 points per game, 21 minutes. He's been aggressive when he's been in there, shooting 46% from the floor. So big opportunity here for Kentucky and Adonis Knight. There's Kevin Sullivan. A big man, back up big at the SimWorld prep level, makes the jump to SimWorld View, steps in flawlessly. Here comes Adonis Knight, right past his defender into the paint, doing damage on Angel Hendricks. And that is going to be the answer to the offense here for the Wildcats in the second game.
Such a talent. As everyone knows, I am contractually obligated to say coolest name in SimWorld Sports, Adonis Knight. The idea, though, and it's a question that I'm not going to take credit for. You brought it up earlier. Curiosity into the element of why is Adonis Knight not a... Oh! Sorry. Got stuck in my throat.
Angel Hendricks with the answer.
Why is Adonis Knight?
I can do better.
You know, exactly. You know, why is Adonis Knight not a starter? Because he is such a spark plug.
Please won't be a spark plug there. Malcolm Oliver with the volleyball slap out of here. Has to shake his arms out here, hit him so hard. And Adonis Knight turned away. Cunningham to the bench. That'll give us our first look at Trey Trust off the bench for the Wildcats. Malcolm Oliver.
I'll be right
that's not
back,
the block
Marsh.
of the night. I don't know what is.
I'll be right back, Marsh. I think my spleen is out there by the mid-court logo. I'll be right back. Oh, I felt that over here.
It's a supersonic block there. Inside Muto. Kevin Sullivan wanting in on the action, and he does. Turns that aside. Pair of blocks, and the UConn defense showing up here on the Huskies, or for the Huskies.
And guess what? That might be the difference to set the tone for the night. Sometimes it's all about the veracity of the block, getting into the mindset of everyone else on the Kentucky bench. Man, I don't want that to be me. So that means I might delay just a quarter of a second going into the paint because I'm thinking about it. And that quarter of a second at this level gives the defense a chance to collapse on you and be more effective.
We talk about the second unit for the Huskies trying to find offense, or for the Wildcats finding offense, and they have there Adonis Knight, his second slam. Big question mark now for the Huskies. Fareed Redmond to the bench. Norman Nations to the bench. Where are they going to go? Again, Malcolm Oliver, we talked about, not really an offensive threat at the 5. So big question mark. And Angel Hendricks, who has the one bench point for the Huskies, called for an illegal screen. That's going to give the ball right back to Kentucky.
You can't look at to where you want to guide the man to. You just have to be that impediment on the way to the journey, so to speak. And that's generally what happens for someone who sets a screen slightly a little bit, I won't say unprepared, but maybe surprised.
Triple won't fall. Muto, not necessarily someone you'd expect to make threes, just one made on the season. And the offenses, you mentioned, you weren't expecting up and down pace, but you didn't really get it. And now with both second units out there, Kevin Sullivan gets his second bucket to this, and I can be the offensive player.
Yes,
not a lot of offense right now.
What a tough shot from the big man right there. Right in the middle of the traffic, double team. Said, I'm going to give a little fade back, giveaway, slappy, slappy, boo-boo, and there you go. Oh, 2 points in his name.
He got 4 on the day. All of them jumped. One fadeaway. Here's Muto, though, right past him. And a two-handed slam.
What a pass. What a pass. You pass it right over the shoulder of the guy right on top of you to the back ear of the defender of your man, just like that. And guess what? That's called payback. Let me tell you what you won't do, boo.
Kevin Sullivan, 6 points off the bench. Going after D'Angelo Muto, the two not typical star big men going at it. Here's Adonis Knight trying to get inside. Can't finish over Hendricks. Try to push in transition. A little hesitation. Had a man open in the middle. Hits it to him. A call here on Trey Trust. And that is going to send the Huskies back to the line. They also get into the bonus here at the midway point. Timeout call for UConn. We'll take one ourselves. Coming back to scores 22-20. UConn on top. Top 10 matchup here on CBS.
Hey, who's this?
Oh, that's Kyle. He aced his 5th grade geography class.
Huh.
You see, now that we're using FedEx to ship globally, I have to learn all the countries again, so I brought in Kyle as a consultant. Did you know that we have customers in Czechoslovakia?
Actually, it's called the Czech Republic.
Yes, Kyle. You are a lifesaver. And without Kyle, I never would have heard of that new country called Buttheadistan.
We understand you want to grow internationally. FedEx serves over 220 countries and territories.
Back to scores, Connecticut, UConn, number 7, trying to hand the number 1 team in the country, unbeaten Kentucky. Their first loss was 22-20 here early on, and has been a little bit of some star power action. Maestro, a little bit now. Drew Bevan, Kevin Sullivan with 6 apiece. Glory Tate with 7 here early on for the Huskies, or for the Wildcats. So the Wildcats and the Huskies have gone to little bench units here. Not a lot of their traditional stars. Adonis Knight's been carrying that offensive load for Kentucky's second.
It is so good to see him, Adonis Knight, in a position where his natural athleticism is just translating from prep to you right now. And the fact that he's able to be confident in his play lets you know that he is yet to run up against that brick wall, so to speak, where the game is going to get a little too fast. Hopefully it won't happen soon. And let's go back on the other side. You know, when you have the other team already shooting in the bonus, like UConn is doing, the way they're attacking and getting Kentucky in these foul situations, it shows you their plan all night is just bring the fight to Kentucky, turn the court into a big old mud pit, drag them down in there, and let's just kind of slug it out and see who's going to walk out of here at the end of the night.
Freshman Finian Terrell, Farmington, Connecticut product to the line here, shooting 2 from the foul before the timeout. We are into the 1-1. 5 fouls already on Kentucky. Jamison Johnson back in, trying to find some offensive spark here. Kentucky's offense is driven to a halt. That's not going to help things out. Stephon Burks with the turnover. Here's Kevin Sullivan pushing transition. Ball finds his way to Hutcherson.
And that's classic why you do not turn your back on the play. You always face the ball. Pass comes in. He's the only one who saw it. He said, thank you very much. It looks like you're passing it to me, even though we're not on the same team, dude.
They trust good defense there on Hutcherson's drive. Here's Adonis Knight. He's got 4. Wants 2 more. Gets some. He's got 6 off the bench for Kentucky. Second leading scorer for the Wildcats behind Glory Tate, 7. He racked up early, and Dan Hurley not too happy out of the timeout. He'll take one. We'll stay right here. And we'll remind you, we got a ton more hoops coming your way. But all of that is always better when you got somebody next to you. So if you are tuning into SimWorld, make sure you're in somebody else on the screen with you, or even better, on the screen on their own. 5,000 EM signing bonus for head coaches, head coach referrals, and even super fans. Head on over to Discord, discord.gg/SimWorld Hoops. Bring a friend. It's always better with one. Make sure everybody's getting in on the SimWorld Sports action here. We got plenty of action tonight. A close game here in stores. Of course, we got the second game of what's tracking to be maybe one of the best nights of SimWorld Hoops and SimWorld U early on in the season. Number 12 Butler visits number 2 Duke. The biggest test for the Butler Bulldogs on the season as they try to slow down Cooper Flagg and company. The defense for Butler will be in full effect, or at least they'll need it to be, as they head to Cameron Indoor Stadium. No easy place to win a basketball game.
Not on any level, and always loud, no matter what time of year it is, no matter what's going on. You're playing against the noise. The noise becomes the 6th and 7th man on the floor sometimes. To say that this is going to be one of the best nights of SimWorld, you looking at the lineup for the rest of this season, Morris, I tell you something. Man, I might have to get a saline drip, man, at the next few months.
Big bucket there. That's Miles Akins, beg your pardon, with a double. And that is another piece. UConn trying to piece together some of their bench scoring without Reed Redmond, without Norman Nations on the floor. Akins doing his part. Here's Adonis Knight. There is not a shot Adonis Knight doesn't like. He misses that one. He's got 6 here. Here comes UConn pushing in transition.
He is not racist on any level. Inside, outside, high, low, high. Don't matter. I'm taking it. It's all good, baby. That's how you look. Everybody love everybody.
The motto of Adonis Knight, though, it's everybody loves everybody's shot. There's Jason Hutchison pulling up for 2, the sophomore. Reliable piece for them. Again, UConn, a bit of a piecemeal bench. Meanwhile, you look at Kentucky's bench, it's pretty traditionally Adonis Knight. They ride him when he's on the floor. The Huskies, not so much. They try to do a little bit of a utilitarian approach, and so far working here for the Huskies. Pair of misses there for the Wildcats.
UConn, I believe, Marsh, just to one of your point, which I think is incredibly spot on as always. That's why I'm glad you're my friend that I watch SimWorld Sports with. The idea here for UConn is, can we stretch our bench out so that way we're always competitive in one form or another against the fact that you do have the top-heavy bench from the Kentucky side. And I think that's why these fouls are playing such a big role so early, with UConn already being in the bonus and so many of the top players from Kentucky already in foul trouble.
Miss there from Jameson Johnson. He's been quiet since his return. Inside goes Aiken. Can't get the bucket. Can't get the board. Trey Truss trying to push in transition. Inside they go. That's going to be a foul on Hassan Abdallah, and that's going to send Jinsung Dang to the free throw line. We're going to step aside. Come back here for the free throws. Beg your pardon. We're staying right here. 30-22. UConn on top. Bench units getting rolling for the Huskies.
Well, something there, Marsh. I got a feeling of our 15 production trucks outside the arena tonight. I got a feeling we're going to see 2 producers meeting somewhere in the middle and having it out. With one saying one thing in one of your ears, and another one saying something in another one of your ears. I got a feeling we're going to hear some. No, you did not, coming inside the arena in a minute, buddy.
Hey, I'm on the mic. We're not blaming producers for nothing. Jinsung Dang gets the second to go, splits the free throw, 7-point game. And the UConn crowd get into it here at the XL Center. They are loving every second of what they're getting from their 7th-ranked Huskies. Here, Malcolm Oliver trying to go after Jameson Johnson. Johnson stays vertical, good defense.
Yes, it was.
Transition, keep 2. That is going to rattle on home. Just a toe on the line, though, from Glory Tate. Sigh of relief for the Wildcats as he's come back and he's got 9.
I think the Wildcats realize that they need to keep. Great pass inside, was not able to activate on the shot, but gets got the arm, almost got the hoop.
That's going to be a foul on Jinsung Dang. That's going to send UConn back to the line again in the bonus already. Dan Hurley happy with his team's aggression. And this crowd, I can't emphasize this enough much. This might be one of the most ruckus crowds that we've had this season in any of the games I've been to. We've seen some dandy. This This Huskies crowd is letting their team here quieten it down here for the free throws. First one made there for about.
Everybody who's a fan of the college game, there are certain places you've got to go. Whether you went to the school, knew somebody went to school or not, there's certain places you've got to go to experience ball like this, because you get a history that comes along with this, where it's not just from a few people from the student body right now, but people who went to this school back in the 60s and 70s that are here now, and they know the game and they know the history of the game. And this is definitely one of those places that will just get into your bloodstream. Great shot from way downtown by Glory Tate. It will get into your bloodstream, and it's just like the experience it almost makes you go out of body.
I went to college not too far from here in Massachusetts, and let me tell you what, there's not too much to do in scores outside of go to Mohegan Sun.
There you go.
Of age, of course, of age, in order to do that, but there's not when you've got a chance, Norman Nation's still a chance for it. This is what they live and die for, is UConn Huskies basketball. We're seeing that emphasis here as Norman Nation's coming back on the floor immediately, making an impact.
And in the days when it was both the men's and the women's teams knocking down the national championships and hanging those banners, man, being in here was just like being on the moon. The way it would just be, I felt sorry for visiting teams because you just had no chance in here.
Swarming defense by the Huskies here. Trey Trust at the buzzer for the shot clock, unable to get it to go. And a great defensive sequence, and will be a good offensive sequence courtesy of Trav Cunningham on the block. Does not want to allow anything. You get a look at Mark Pope, not looking too excited about the way his team's playing on the offensive end. They're down 5 here with just over 5 to go.
They're not playing unsettled, Marsh. They just look like they're not quite comfortable with where they are. And the difference in that is this. You're executing to a degree what you want to, but that last 10% just not working. And I think this is a new feeling for them as a team right now. So let's see how they're going to push through it.
Here's Nations. He's got 3 players already with 6 for the Huskies. Nations one of them. 5 seconds to shoot. 3 women. Pull up 3 won't go. The board. Jamison Johnson won't go, and a good defensive sequence from Jamison Johnson. Not traditionally the shot blocker of this defense, but paying off there. And who else but Glory Tate to get it rolling? He's got 7 points since he stepped back into this game, and the Kentucky offense, Maestro, looks different when he's on.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It's a little bit more in the flow. It's a little less staggered, so to speak. But I tell you something, one thing that Kentucky has shown us tonight, that they're not afraid to slow it down a little bit if they have to clear it out and give their action players like Tate and Knight an opportunity to play some game. But when you make passes like that, not a good thing.
Malcolm Oliver can't get it. Hassan Abdallah right there for the finish. Jamison Johnson trying to get back and unable to. Worth pointing out as we get a timeout from the Wildcats is that Jamison Johnson 2 of 5. His 2 buckets have come on switches in which he was guarded by Boo Boo Morgan. Malcolm Oliver standing up to the task right now of defending one of the best bigs in the country. back in scores, 4:12 to go. First half, UConn and Kentucky. We thought this was going to be a good one, Maestro. Number 7 versus number 1. But not been disappointing. This has been a dandy football.
You know, it reminds me of the very first time they met. I remember coming here, watching them play when I just turned 22. It was back in 1913 when Connecticut lost to Kentucky 10-34, but it was still loud that night. So let me tell you, that's just, you know, it's just how it is when these two teams get together.
It'll be interesting to see here if UConn or if Wildcats. I'm trying to see what we got here. No Jamison Johnson on the floor. So he struggled 2 of 5 so far. He's been quiet against Malcolm Oliver. He is not on the floor here in the final 4 minutes. They've done a good job of trying to stagger their stars. So we'll see if that just means trying to hold him for the second half to the paint. That was Track Cunningham. You're probably put some respect on Stephon Burks' name. To the rack and the foul on Malcolm Oliver. His second. That's something to keep an eye on. Malcolm Oliver's been the Jamison Johnson stopper. We'll see if Dan Hurley wants to go to the bench there, try to preserve the fouls. But it's Stephon Burks, the tough 2.
Kentucky's giving a little payback. They say, okay, you're going to get physical inside, we're going to get physical inside too. When you see a little man go up against a big man that actually trying to get the shot off but looking for the contact, that lets you know that there's been a mindset change. Something happened, something was said on the bench. And it's about changing how we're going to approach this because Kentucky understands they cannot afford to let UConn get too far ahead. Great pass inside, but denied.
Inside, dang, carrying over. He's trying to tie it up. Our take the lead, can't do it. Maestro, I got to ask, are you taking Malcolm Oliver out here with 2 fouls? I mean, he's been the reason we don't see Jamison Johnson on the floor right now. Johnson has been really ineffective against him. If you lose Oliver to a 3rd foul, put him in foul trouble for the second half, it's a huge detriment for your defense.
I agree completely, but however, you know something about being a big, and you know, in today's world, you have to learn to play with fouls. You have to learn to be smart, use your length, use your size. Great pass inside, way to choose some violence there at the rim. Way to go, big man. But you have to learn to play with fouls, and these are the kind of games when you get in trouble, I need you to show me that you're mentally tough enough to stay smart and keep yourself out of deep trouble.
Checking in, it appears, is Kevin Sullivan, so we'll keep an eye on that. But a great find from Norman Nations. Here's Jinsong Dang. He has struggled inside tonight, folks. He has really done a bad job of taking advantage of the mismatches when they've come. Here's Fareed Redmond, quiet since an early start for him. See if he tries to get rolling. It's been him and Glory Tate, the star matchup. We haven't seen too much of Redmond. We're going to see a step back deep, too. It's got a little home. Says he hasn't heard much here. And UConn back up by 6.
I tell you, this is the one thing Kentucky did not want to see when they got their run going. Oh, my goodness.
Glory Tate, little shimmy, little shake, little slam.
Goodness. Did he just do the Matrix? Like, was he in one spot and all of a sudden it was like, he's all of a sudden under the rim? My goodness.
Need that audio clip for every highlight that anybody is going to put some dribble moves together. We need Maestro doing it. Here's Redmond, kick out to Abdallah. Abdallah says, I want a 3, halfway down and out. Our star matchup recently hasn't disappointed. Go ahead, Maestro.
No, you took it words out of my throat. I was getting ready to say the same thing. That's why I don't like working with you, Mars, because you smart. You know what I'm going to say before I'm going to say it, man. I don't like that. Just like, you know.
All about anticipation, baby. All about anticipation. Inside, Booba Morgan, up, under. That's a masterclass from a guard and how to get space inside. Does it against Glory Tate. 5 inches on him. Doesn't matter.
Did you see the ball started behind the backboard? It reminds me of that Dr. J move where he started behind the backboard and came up. He probably wasn't as dramatic as that, but he started behind the backboard and then swept it underneath. I think he used the backboard as a screener there. That's classic, classic, classic.
Comes Tate trying to push. It's going to be a quick shot from Cunningham. That won't go. Rebound for Redmond. Under a minute left. Subs are sitting on the sideline. Haven't been brought in over the last 3 minutes. Redmond tries to get a pick and roll switch. Can't drive to the rack. Glory Tate holds it. No. Redmond with the offensive board. Swing it back. Pull up. Jumper. Morgan. Halfway down. It won't go. But a follow from Malcolm Oliver. And Booba Morgan, when you start getting rolling, you start having a little bit of capability to pull up. As he does that, draws the second defender, and then wide open, a foul and a finish on the other end from Burks. Big try from Cunningham. That's what opens up that easy follow last time down. So we're going to get some subs here. Out of the game goes Ludo. Into the game comes Adonis Knight for the Wildcats. Meanwhile, it's going to be Hendricks and it's going to be Kevin Sullivan along with Terrell into the game. Kevin Sullivan checking out Malcolm Oliver. So and we're still just nice, great defense from Jameson Johnson.
Interesting you do the sub for the scoring that's played. You think you want more of a defensive presence, not that you cannot have that, but I think Kentucky is looking for something that's going to work under pressure, feeling that this is going to happen in the next half.
Burks finds a cutting Glory Tate. Glory Tate, tough bucket, offensive board, kick out. 12 seconds to shoot. Free throw, looks like there could be a malfunction there. Adonis Knight's going to pull up a three, rattle a home, doesn't matter. Looks like they reset the shot clock even though they shouldn't have, but 5 seconds here to go. 3-point game. Across the midline, pull up. From the half out. Off the back rim and out. That's going to be our half. UConn, Kentucky giving us everything we were hoping for. How about Glory Tate? And for Reed Redmond going toe-to-toe in this one, Maestro, what's your takeaway from the first half? 17 from Glory Tate.
It looked like both teams got comfortable with their speed and what they had on the floor. UConn did a brilliant job of getting some of the top players of Connecticut in trouble early, and then Kentucky found a way to not let UConn get away from them, and they were able to maintain their composure to make sure that they stayed in this game. Very well done by both teams. I think a great half of basketball.
What's the key for the second half if Kentucky wants to rally back, win on the road?
Kentucky's going to find a way to score uncomfortably, and by that I mean this. They're going to have to find a way to live through their early foul trouble in order to get their guys the ball in order to be able to put the biscuit in the bucket.
Well, second half, we're hoping, is exactly what we got in the first half, which was a competitive one. We're coming back to Stores right after this. Number 1, number 7, going toe-to-toe.
Life comes at you fast. Be ready with Nationwide. Investments, retirement, insurance.
Welcome back to Stores, Connecticut. UConn, number 7 team in the country, holding on to a 3-point lead over the number 1 team and currently unbeaten Kentucky Wildcats. 17 first half points from Glory Tate, leading all scores. Meanwhile, 8 from Redmond, 6 from Hassan Abdallah, Malcolm Oliver, and Norman Nations. for the Huskies, and a quick 2 gets rolling here for the Huskies to start the second half.
I think Kentucky's found themselves in the type of game. I think it might be a little surprising for them. Like me, I think they thought this might be more of a looking at the good side of myself in the mirror, knowing that we're going to be up and down. And what Kentucky has done is they've done the change of pace. They have played tempo when they've needed to, UConn has. However, they've taken advantage of the slow down, change of pace game to force Kentucky into a half-court game where they're not totally comfortable, but they appear to be playing extremely comfortable in that manner.
Jamison Johnson, his first bucket not guarded by a guard. His previous 2 baskets were both from switches. Here's Norman Nations. Well, defensive miscommunication makes them pay. Nations from deep. And the lead's back to 6. Hey, first half stat that stood out to me, Maestro. Everybody on Kentucky in the plus-minus with either 0 or negative except one man. And that was Glory Tate, who was +5.
A great pull by you. I'm so glad you remembered. I'm so glad you saw that. And what does that tell you? That tells you that Kentucky has not gotten solid in their transition game, and their half-court game is relying upon, let's say, players who are not normally their top offensive producers.
And UConn heads to the free throw line, and this will be their 11th and 12th free throws of the game. They've forced 6 foul calls. Kentucky, believe it or not, UConn was called for 5 there in the first half. So the edge at the free throw line, it'll be +6 by the end of these 2 free throws for Norman Nations. UConn is kind of aggressive. But really, as Trav Cunningham did pick up his second foul there, really no one in Kentucky or on Kentucky is in foul trouble. Everybody's got 1 now except for Trav Cunningham. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's Malcolm Oliver, who has been playing great defense on Jamison Johnson with 2.
The idea here is, we talked about this, being able to play uncomfortable, right? UConn knows what they want to do. They want to force the issue. They want to force the physicality down low or even in the mid-range game. So that means everybody in Kentucky is going to be walking home with a dent in their foul box tonight.
Good up ball, but a great slap away from Norman Nations. Looked like it was going to be a wide-open layup for Trav Cunningham, but Norman Nation gets a hand in there. Frees that up for Reed Redmond. Try to force a switch. Can't. They bring a double. Left open. Boo Boo Morgan. Triple. Yes, sir. And Boo Boo Morgan burying his first 3 of the night. His first hit from deep.
I don't want to be that guy, but you know something? Kentucky can ill afford to let UConn to get comfortable at home, opening up a solid double-digit lead, because for some reason here, a double-digit lead can feel like triple digits.
That's interesting. The last 2 possessions, free Redmond pull-up jumper, won't go. Last 2 possessions, when it's been an isolation circumstance for Reed Redmond against Glory Tate, Mark Pope has brought a double team, and they bring a double team here. Leaves Burks open, foul called on Glory Tate, his first. But both of those double teams, Maestro, led to wide open triples from Norman Nations, and the last one there from Boo Boo Morgan.
So it's good coaching on the other side. What do? If you see more than 2 hands coming at you, okay? The rule is you don't have to see the bodies for all of my up and coming bigs. I'm going to go prep nerd on you for a minute. If I get the ball down low and I see more than 2 hands, that means I'm being at least double teamed. That means I have what? I have a teammate that's open. And if we follow our principles, I know my relief is either going to be at my 5 o'clock or my 7 o'clock. And depending on which side of the floor we're on, that determines where I can kick it to. I should not have to look. My teammate should be there.
Well, hot potato leads to a Norman Nations 3, and he gets it to go. Late shot clock. And UConn roaring out of the gates here to start the second half. They're up by 12. That's the largest lead anyone's had in this basketball game.
You know, when Norman Nations gets going like that, he sees nothing but the other side of the rim. And all he's going to do is just keep laying it in there from way down deep. You know, we've seen that happen too many times. He is an addictive scorer, and once he starts scoring, he's not going to stop.
Another miss from Jamison Johnson. Kevin Sullivan playing the defense there. And a wide open cut to the left open. A good take in there from Angel Hendricks. And that finally draws the Wildcats timeout. 59-45, Maestro. We'll step aside, come back. 16:09 to go in stores. UConn getting ready to pull away. Back to Connecticut. Number 7, UConn rolling here in the second half. They're on top 59-45. It's been a dominant second half start for this team, up 15-4. A huge run. Maestro to kick off this second half.
Yes, it is. And you know, UConn has found a comfortability in their game that I think is going to speak to what's going to happen for the remaining 16 minutes, 9 seconds of this particular ball game. I think the idea here is Kentucky's going to have to find a way to make the court a little smaller, make sure it's just them and their teammates, making sure that they're riding what they need to ride in order to keep out the noise, keep out the 6th and 7th man that you're going to have with UConn, and find a way to get back to their game. Up and down, hard press, rim to rim.
Now Adonis Knight checks in for this team, as does Trey Truss. Trey Truss pull up 3, buried. And it's a notable change. Those two guys, Truss and Adonis Knight, a little bit more offensive weapons than Trav Cunningham and Stephon Burks. But clearly down by, at that point, actually it was 15. They need all the points they can get.
Yes, they do.
And Knight and Truss stepping in. Here comes Ruben Morgan trying to get it, and Adonis Knight trying to draw a foul, won't get it. Pick out Hendricks, 3, rattles home.
That is the quintessential UConn possession. Inside, rejection, inside, stoppage, outside 3. If they do that the rest of the night, I'm sorry, Kentucky's going to have a long bus ride back to Kentucky.
Hope they're not busting. Trey Truss wants another 3, gets another 3, pull up triple, and we're right back to 11. Trey Truss, they need an offensive spark. He's providing it.
Kentucky's getting to the point there, Marsh, where they're going to need more than a spark. They're going to need a doggone bonfire.
How about Jason Hutchinson trying to provide one? Kick out, offensive board, Ruben Morgan, and misses everything.
That was the very great defense, hands in the middle. Great defense.
Here comes Hutchinson, guarded by Knight. No Fareed Redmond on the floor, so second unit. If ever there's going to be an opportunity for Kentucky to rally back, it's going to have to be against UConn's reserves, and that's what we've got here. Only Ruben Morgan, the starter, on the floor. But Angel Hendricks hit a deep 2 otherwise. Just did it again. Foot on the line.
Feel the momentum building up, Marsh. You feel the fact that UConn is working off of this crowd. You feel the fact that they're feeling super comfortable, knowing that we've already proven that we can run with these guys. We've already proven that we can drag them. Oh, what happened there?
Bad pass. Jamison Johnson couldn't control it, and he is going to send back over the line. And this is interesting. Stephon Burks back in the game. That takes out Glory Tate. D'Angelo Muto checks back in, or checking out is Jinson Dang for him. So we'll see the Glory Tate, their main offensive weapon, checking out, as well as Muto. Inside they go to Sullivan. Jamison Johnson on him. Sullivan trying to find some space and a block from Jamison Johnson. Quick out, 10 to shoot. Swing to the corner, that's Hutcherson. Screen by Hendricks. Little dilly-dally inside. Kick it back out. Deep 2 won't go off the front rim. Chance to push. Loose ball. Jinson Dang can't corral. It's going to be a backcourt violation. And that's going to be a good, necessary defensive possession from Kentucky. And that is going to spell the end of Stephon Burke's brief stint as Sylvia checking in.
Interesting. As good as that defensive possession was by Kentucky, and kudos to them there, it was interesting for me that it was the first, I'm not going to say disorganized offensive possession that UConn has had, but they've had a couple down the road where there's been a long shot taken and the offense wasn't prepared to get the rebound. And that particular possession where it looked as though they got good looks, it was almost as if the rest of the team on the floor was watching it on TV as opposed to being on the floor during the game.
Well, good bench unit production. Here comes Trey Trust inside. Gets the offensive board against Angel Hendricks. He's going to have to get this one up quick before a 3-second violation. Offensive second chance point, but he battles for it. That's going to stay here. Wildcats ball. Good second effort there. That's going to be the end. His little swap back and forth Mark Pope has. But it's going to be Kentucky ball underneath. They're down by 11. Inbound to Trust. Up top to Burke. Swings it to Jameson Johnson. Trey Trust inside. Called on Akins. A good one there. Stops the easy bucket. And that'll send Trey Trust to the line.
How smart was Trust? He saw them getting ready to do the side court trap. He immediately, as his defender went over to execute the trap, he immediately started running straight to the rim. And what does that do for you? That gives you an opportunity to get that pass and then to put yourself in position to score. In this case, get the harm. Love the matching shoes going on here in the stands, and just love the capris, love the V-necks. Just love the crowd.
Our crowd shoe segment brought to you by StockX. First free throw is good for Trust to get it to single digits. He pulls that off, 64-55. So 1 to 14-point lead. They have trimmed it back down to 9. They're trying to fight their way back. And again, this might be the opportunity, although Hutcherson leaves Trust stumbling, doesn't take advantage of it. Where does UConn get the offense? Hutcherson says right here. Answers quick pull up midi. And the lead back to 11.
Marsh, he is so tough. Hutcherson is so tough. He doesn't mind going up against the trees. He doesn't mind putting his body into it. That's just what you want to see from a guy that give you a spark just when you need it.
Struggles continue for Jamison Johnson here, guarded by Kevin Sullivan. Unable to get that to go. And the cold night from Jamison Johnson has really plagued Kentucky in this one.
You know, you have to feel as though they're waiting for Jamison to take the lid off the jar, so to speak. But at this particular point, you have to start thinking about, I know you're trying to think about his game because you need his game in order for you to be effective, but you have to think about where is your scoring actually coming from, because those are the guys that I need to lean on, including that guy right there, Adonis Knight.
Adonis Knight doing a good job. Hey, shout out to our folks that are watching this one. We appreciate everyone taking the time to join this squad, join our afternoon here. Maestro, are you set and ready to give a couple shout outs to our folks tuned in right now?
Absolutely. Let me go on and get that screen going there. You caught me with my back turned, kid, because you know I like to look into the crowd. You know I like to check out what's going on. But we got our crowd where? Right here. And when we have that, you know, we got Tony Henderson, who's just everywhere. He's going to do what he's going to do. Kai Killens, CIA, he's in the hizzy. That's how he gets down. Justin, we feel you out there, Justin Zhang. You know what's up, Coach Simpson? Hey, come on now. We got Cyrus Stores here. We got Trevon, Patrick, everybody. We appreciate you hanging with us. We just appreciate the fact that you come out every game, every night when you're not playing to check out who else is going down there on the feed. And we just let you know that we appreciate you and we're here for you.
Well, it's been a dandy, 66-57, UConn and Kentucky. The Wildcats just cut it back to within 9. They have not been able to stifle and counter, and you got to give credit to UConn. They're getting this rolling without Norman Nations on the floor, without Fareed Redmond on the floor, with Malcolm Oliver dealing with this little bit of foul trouble. And yet here, the Huskies are deep 2. Will go have a chance there. Kick around though. Offensive board now for the 3. The Bergman finally aboard. It's Trey Trust ending that possession.
What you got going on down for the last 10 minutes of the game? who's going to start fighting more. Now we're starting to see the tempo pick up a little bit as we're starting to see, I'm going to say, the sense of urgency has been dialed up just a little bit here, Marsh.
And the easy move here every minute as a deep three from Akins rattles home, makes it 12, changes the arithmetic a little bit, but the way I always look at it, get 1 point per minute. You're not going to get 12 in one possession. You get 10 and a half minutes. You need to get a little bit more now. You need to get more than a point back per minute. We'll see if Kentucky can do it. That's going to be on the defensive end as UConn's bench has shown up. Trey Truss to answer. He does.
So
Third three from Trey Truss off the bench here in the second half.
So what do you do here when you're Kentucky? You're not in the, oh my goodness, just run around somebody like you even know they're there. Come on.
Just Hutcherson right past him. And again, we talked about it. Kentucky's going with Trey Truss and Adonis Knight here because they need a little bit of an offensive spark in the second half as opposed to Stephon Brooks and Trav Cunningham. It's worked offensively until there. It has not worked defensively. Here's Kevin Sullivan trying to push in transition. He's going against Dang and easy.
That is the fourth pass that has gone into the post that has been sniped by a UConn player. What does that tell you? Their heads are on a swivel and they know what they got to do. And we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Welcome back. Under 10 minutes to go. UConn on top by 13, 73-60 here with under 10 minutes in stores. Number 7 trying to hand number 1 Kentucky their first loss of the season. The only team with more than 2 games played that are unbeaten on the year are the are the Wildcats. Huskies trying to add to their stockpile of big wins here early on. This would be a dandy if they could.
Yes, it would. And I tell you something, coming at this particular time of the year, you're getting ready to roll into your conference play. You're starting to look ahead necessarily to how you want to have your structure of your team set up as you start getting past conference play. A team like UConn can actually kind of think about it that way in a crazy kind of way. This would be a good stepping off point. We'll say it that way.
It sure would be. And it will be a big confidence boost for a team that probably doesn't need too many of them. UConn has had a heck of a season so far. 5-3. Their 3 losses have come to Oregon. That's the disappointing one. Washington State and Tennessee. So this will be the biggest one of the season. The last unbeaten to fall. I don't know if that takes UConn off the number 1 spot in the country. We'll find out. Drop it to the rack. Can't get that to go. So they're going back to a defensive look. That time with Trav Cunningham. He can't finish, and Kevin Sullivan brings it up. Not a lot of Malcolm Oliver here in the second half for the Huskies. Pull up triple. Norman Nations won't go. That one will go out of bounds. That's going to be Kentucky ball. So wide open there off the dribble. Can't make him pay as Norman Nations. And again, Kentucky just keeps moving Kadarius Sylvia in and out of the lineup. Averaging just 1.7 points per game. Here's James Johnson. Pull up. Gets it.
UConn has everything to gain, nothing to lose. They can play on par basketball right now. By that, what I mean is they can just trade the rest of the way and hold par, and they're going to be fine. Kentucky needs to find a way. They're getting to that dangerous point. Oh, my goodness gracious. What just Marsh, say it for me. How tough is this kid? Hutchinson just brings it.
Norman Nations is a different breed. I mean, he has got it. Here comes Adonis Knight to the rack. But he offensively is a difference maker for this team. He's up to 17 now, 3 of 5 from deep. He has been a dominant force for a UConn team, and he's really evolved as a 1A, 1B option. He wants a 4-3. He's not going to get it there. That one almost goes out of bounds. But him and Fareed Redmond, it's a two-headed monster in the backcourt in ways that I don't know that we expected it to be this efficient for the Huskies this season, but it certainly has been.
Yes, it has been. And again, UConn can play on-par basketball the rest of the way. Trey, Kentucky is getting into that dangerous zone where they're going to have to start playing the 2-3 game. We need to score. We need to either score on every 2 or 3 possessions or stop you from scoring every 2 or 3 possessions.
This is going to be a timeout here for the Huskies. Reminder to be active, man. It's all about being active in SimWorld. From watching shows, SimWorld Today, obviously, coming daily. We got Your Dirty Shorts Maestro. We've got Around the Table. We've got Rick's Blades and Takes, Marsh Pod Hits on Mondays. There's plenty to be active with. Take the time to do it, because all of it comes back to this. We've seen those numbers continue to go up over the last couple of weeks. We want to keep those numbers going up. All it does is make this product better for everybody involved. So stay involved. Make sure you're taking the time to read the narratives, read the articles, listen to the videos, check out the tweets, everything coming your way. It's all SimWorld related. SimWorld U in full force, and we're seeing a lot of that content coming. SimWorld Prep dominating our weekend coverage. So make sure you're locking in Monday through Sunday. Pick it back up the next day and keep that engagement and activity rolling.
Sunday through Monday, Saturday through Friday, or Monday through Wednesday. Well, Wednesday through you know what I'm trying to say.
We got you. We figured out what you're putting down.
I'll let you, boy. You know it.
Malcolm Oliver checking back in. He's got 2 fouls playing with him. We haven't seen too much of him. Dan Hurley's tried to preserve him. Kevin Sullivan played well off the bench for the squad. Here is Nation. He's been great. 17 on the game. But cutting inside as Ndala. Kicks it out up top. That's Booby Morgan. Morgan swings. Trying to find a posting up Redmond. They do. Guarded by Adonis. Little shimmy shake. Won't go. Good defense or good board there from Adonis Knight. Almost a great little fadeaway. Here's Trey Truss. He's been hot. He's going to drop at the paint. Plenty of contact, offensive board, kick out. Adonis Knight looked at a 3 briefly, doesn't take it. Got a little screen action on Malcolm Oliver. Maestro, you can see it right there. Stayed vertical, not nearly as aggressive. Malcolm Oliver playing with those 2 fouls.
Exactly right. He's thinking about it. And oh, by the way, at this particular point, you can't think about it. You can't leave anything. You can't leave anything in the bucket right now, young man. You got to come and bring it. Play with no fear. You're going to play a lot better than you would if you're going to play scared.
Get lucky there on the missed 3 from Norman Nations. They've cut this thing as we surpass the 7-minute mark down to 8, so they're making the right progress. Little spin move by Adonis Knight. Won't go offensive board. Jameson Johnson. Does he go back up? He's got a Redmond on him. He's going to check it out. Almost a 3-second violation, but a nice shimmy in. And it's a 6-point game. Here come the Wildcats.
This is just what the Kentucky wanted to do. They got it under 10, 6 minutes left. I was always told by some of the smarter coaches, if you're going to be down, you want to be down a point a minute because you still have an opportunity to make a run. They have a chance.
Heel there. That's going to be Trey Truss. Swings it to Johnson. Guarded by Fareed Redmond. Kicks out to Knight. Guarded by Oliver. Again, the double. Jameson Johnson. It's going to be Fareed Redmond. And it's going to be, I think we got Husky basketball. We do. UConn and Fareed Redmond tying it up.
Possession average.
It's going to stay here. It's going to stay here. I beg your pardon. It's going to stay Kentucky basketball. Still a big moment there. That's going to swing the possession arrow back to the Huskies next time.
Yes, it will. Jameson has to recognize he's double teamed. He had 2 outlets to go to. He never even looked for them, and he paid the price for it.
Eep 2 shooting foul. They're going to say foot on the line for Stephon Burks. And the 88% free throw shooter heads to the free throw line. Burks yet to make a triple this season. But where he's played well, you think you might be able to project his free throws. Again, 88%. That's the one problem with this group. You surround it. It's Adonis Knight, who's only a 28% three-point shooter. It's Trav Cunningham and Stephon Burks, who haven't made a 3 this season. You want to go offense around Jameson Johnson, and this current unit, not necessarily one that screams it. D'Angelo Muto shooting just 16%. Through UConn, I imagine it's stuff the paint, make Jameson Johnson beat us with a lot of bodies.
Yes, absolutely. Make him work hard, especially if he's playing any kind of level of timid. You want to take advantage of that.
Not the prettiest of forms, but Stephon Burks makes that one go. And we've got ourselves a 4-point game. Under 6 minutes to go. We're nearing crunch time in scores. Number 7, UConn. Number 1, Kentucky. Coming down to the final 6 minutes. Here's Redmond. Guarded by Knight. Trying to find some space. Into the paint he goes. Contact. That's going to be a foul called. I believe that's going to go on Knight. And I believe we're also going to get Glory Tate checking back in here. Or at least you would expect it to be if you're the Kentucky Wildcats.
How do you keep yourself in a position? This is one of those deals, Marsh, where this game is going to be a good step-off game. We talked about how it's going to be a good step-off game for UConn earlier. Here's how it's going to be a good step-off game for Kentucky. They met this adversity in a hostile environment, but they were able to maintain themselves, stuck to their game despite the changes they had to make, and do what? Work their way back into the game.
Reed Redmond misses the first, sinks the second. Surprising there. He's an 80% free throw shooter. And it's a 5-point game. Glory Tate back in. Swings it. Inside it goes to Jameson Johnson. Double comes. Up top to Trust. Swings it to Knight. 16 to shoot. Halfway through the shot clock. Here's Knight trying to find some space. They're trying to free up Trey Trust on ball. They don't do it. Inside to Redmond. Double team comes. Adonis Knight. 3-point from Knight. Goes in! The 28% shooter from deep makes UConn pay for leaving him open.
Yes, he does. Adonis Knight's now our leading scorer there, March, with 18 points, and that was interesting how they double-teamed everybody but him. Shows you what the respect they have for his ability to pass and his ability to dribble himself out of trouble if he needs to.
Glory Tate with the block there on Norman Nation. 7 seconds to shoot. They're trying to free up Redmond. 4 seconds to shoot. Screen comes. It's going to have to be a heave. It's going to be blocked by Jameson Johnson. That's not going to count. And it's going to be Kentucky basketball down 2 with 4.5 to go. 2 blocks on that possession from the stars of the Kentucky show.
What does that tell you? When you have leverage on the outside, don't lean toward the ball. If you're a big over a small, go straight up. That's going to be in your favor every single time.
Inside to Stephon Burks. He gets it to go. Folks, we have another sub out. Glory Tate to the bench for Kentucky along with Trey Trust. It's Trav Cunningham. It's Stephon Burks. It's D'Angelo Muto. It's Adonis Knight. And it's Jameson Johnson. Not the closing 5 you'd expect from Kentucky. And it's Reed Redmond unable to get it. Good defense and a timeout for the Wildcats. And this is, Maestro, this is another time in a clutch situation that UConn has put Glory Tate on the bench.
I've invited Pedro over.
Pedro, my man!
We need to talk about something.
Great. Let's talk. What's new, Pedro?
Look, Tim, for the past 12 years, Pedro and I have been having an affair.
What? I did not see that coming. At all. Pedro Jr., go to your room. Don't make that face. And take that ridiculous shirt off. Daddy loves you. Sorry, what were you talking about?
We're back, 4 minutes to go. UConn and Kentucky locked at 77 apiece. The Wildcats have rallied from down by as many as 14 in this second half to draw even with the ball and the opportunity to take the lead. We'll see if Glory Tate checks back in, because Mark Pope, again, questionable decision to put Glory Tate on the bench here late in this second half.
What did that tell you, Marsh? That tells you that he's looking for something, and maybe this is one of those moments of this is maybe an internal statement about something he's expecting someone to learn that's going to pay off later on in the season.
Your learn might be to keep your guy on the floor. Glory Tate 17 points on the game. Adonis Knight, though, the leading scorer with 18. He is also on the floor. Here is Glory Tate back in. I beg your pardon, that's Jamison Johnson driving to the rack. Triple team comes. Three. D'Angelo moving getting threes from guys that aren't expected to hit him.
And there you go. That's when you see the hands. You just realize you're being trapped. What do? You kick out to a lead spot, and your teammate pays off for you. Oh, 2 chances at the biscuit, and nothing went into the bucket.
Malcolm Oliver can't make a pay. Here to the rack goes Adonis Knight. He's up to 20 off the bench. And UConn down by 5. They led by as many as 14, and now with 3 minutes left, that lead has disappeared completely. Johnson meeting Malcolm Oliver.
Let me tell you what you won't do. Don't bring no gin to the juice party.
20 seconds. Deep 3. Trey Trust. Made 3 from Trey Trust in the second half. And it's an 8-point game. And this storm cloud has gone. Here in stores a 7-0 run from Kentucky, and they're on top by 7. Make sure if you're tuning in here, you're liking, you're commenting, you're subscribing, you're sharing SimWorld with a friend. We are on YouTube, the streaming partner of SimWorld TV, SimWorld Hoops, our broadcast partners PBS and ESPN, all of them live stream radio to YouTube. We appreciate everyone tuning in and enjoying the show. Maestro, it's been a show tonight.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. We've seen the best of both worlds. We've seen both the best worlds, and we've seen the worlds of the best of the both. It has been great back and forth. Both teams have found a way to stay in their game, and despite what the score might tell you, it has been a defensive game as well, especially when you see the Twins on the bench. I'm sorry, the game of Marshall talk. I ain't got words.
Twins on the bench. Now that's interesting. And that is interesting. So a bucket there. That's a triple for UConn. Here we go. 85-80. Again, the rotation questions. Trav Cunningham and Stephon Burks back in. That means Adonis Knight and Trey Trust, who have been integral to this second half comeback, are on the bench. 2.5 minutes. 13 to shoot. Glory Tate is on the floor. He gets open. They find him. Driving on Hutcherson. Up. Over. Rattles out. Malcolm Oliver. The good defense. Still playing with those 2 fouls. He's been great at avoiding a third. Ball swings to Redmond. Nation's calling for him. Swings to Nations up top. He's guarded by Burks. Into his bag. Kicks out to Redmond. They're trying to bring a screen from Dalla. Trying to free him up. Here comes Redmond to the rack.
3-point game, Marsh.
And it's a 3-point game. 85-82, Kentucky on top. Here is Burks. Inside, they bring the double. Again, kick out to Burks. And reset this offense. James Johnson driving to the rack. Turned aside by Malcolm Oliver. He's
bring no
got
gin
this
to a juice
score
party.
crowd back up.
Bring no gin to a juice party.
Timeout called. That's going to be one left for both UConn and Kentucky. Maestro, what are you going to here if you're Kentucky off the timeout under 2 to play?
Under 2 to play, I'm going to stick with my offensive game right now. I'm going to keep doing backdoor cuts to the basket or straight down the pipe cuts with great passing. I'm going to maybe go outside in, Marsh. I'm going to take that 3, crash for the rebound, make the easy 2 underneath. On the other side, if I'm Kentucky, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay where I am right now. By that, what I mean is this: overload my offense to do back, forth, opposite, and give my mans a chance to drive in right down the middle of the floor and choose and get to the rim with violence.
85-82. The Wildcats have stormed back. They were down by as many as 14. Of course, no longer. They led briefly by 7. 20 points from Adonis Knight, 20 points from Glory Tate, and 20 points from Norman Nations. Leading the way here for both squads. It has been a dandy of a game. Trey Trust, 4 of 5 from deep, all 4 coming in the second half for Kentucky. Kentucky ball up top, it's Burks. Inside to Jameson Johnson. UConn has brought double teams. They do that here. He's trying to find someone. Pull up. Ooh, Baker in. Bank stays open late and scores Connecticut.
Go on and hit Mohegan Sun. You're going to get money like that.
Jameson Johnson. He's showing off some jump shot ability. Here's Nations, and then a good defensive play by Jameson Johnson. Pushing it is Burks. We'll slow it down here. 1 minute to go. It's a 5-point game. They do indeed. Reset it up top.
I'm not taking this shot till it's 5 or 6 seconds left on the shot clock.
Burks has other ideas. That's an early shot, Maestro. You said you'd wait. They didn't. That's the door opening. UConn with a chance. Down 5. Here's Nations. It's a switch on to Johnson. Trying to blow past him. Unable to. Johnson stand in front. Reset it. Over to Abdallah. 10 seconds to shoot. Long possession here for UConn. They got to move quick. 7 seconds. It's Redmond. Going at Tate. Gets it. They're going to have to foul here. 3-point game.
Yes. Took way too long, Marsh. Took way too long. A little too tentative.
Inbound to Burks, and that's going to be a timeout. It's going to be foul called on Malcolm Oliver. Kentucky will take the timeout. UConn needing one more foul from UConn in order to go to the line. It's a 3-point game. Who are you trying to inbound to here if you're Kentucky?
If I'm Kentucky, I want to inbound to my best free throw shooter. Period. That's it. Who can I trust to stand on the sideline in those shorts? I mean, who can I trust to get the ball inside and secure the pass, get the foul, and walk to the line and take their time to slow the world down and knock down my free throws from him here, Marsh?
We got a lot of options. Stephon Burks, 88% from the line coming into tonight. Trav Cunningham, 80. Glory Tate, 85. Jameson Johnson, 82%. The only guy that you'd expect to see out there potentially that's not a great free throw shooter, that's Angelo Mudo. He's shooting 28%, so you probably want to see him if you're Kentucky at the inbounding spot. Though, Kentucky has no timeouts left, so they have to get the ball in here, and then it's going to have to be a quick foul by UConn. It's Johnson to inbound. They do to Burks, and a quick foul called here. Hutcherson does the job. It's going to send Burks to the line. Hit 2 earlier.
Yeah, and he's 3 for 3 on the night. So that's exactly what you want to do.
Good free throw shooter, 1-1. So this job is not quite done here. If you're UConn, you need a miss and you need a quick score. Not necessarily needing a 3, right, Meister? You can probably get a 2.
No, not necessarily. You can probably get away with 2. That last possession just took so long. They took so long to get off a shot. They could have, I think, in my opinion, they could have gotten at any given time during the shot clock, and they just didn't do it. That's a possession that's going to haunt the coaching staff all night.
Burks gets that timeout for UConn. So now you're 23.4 seconds left. You're going to be able to advance the ball here. Is it time for a 3, considering you just made both and you're down 5?
So here's what I'm thinking now, Marsh. What I want to do is take it down. I want to take that 3 wide because I'm going to send 4 jerseys to the glass in order to get the rebound if I miss, and then to put it right back to get the quick 2, and then we'll start the foul game over and over again. And who's my best free throw shooter of the night? You don't have to say his name. I'll say it for you. Norman Nations, who's rocking 4 out of 8. I want to make sure I get the ball to him quick, make sure he gets that up quick. Everybody else crashes the board. Put back right away, foul reset.
See if they can go to it here. It has been a competitive game. UConn broke out in the second half, led by as many as 14. Kentucky stormed back. They have dominated these last 5 minutes of the game. It will be UConn ball as we come out of this timeout. They're needing points here. Anything else, and this thing is all but wrapped up. Malcolm Oliver in, Fareed Redmond, and they're trying to free up Hutcherson. Slowly developing. Here's Hutcherson, gotta move quick. Free throw comes, kick it, corner, triple foul, can't get it to go.
Oh my
And
goodness.
that would have been huge. Down 5 if Redmond, and we're gonna have to see if this is a 3-shot or 2-shot foul, but if Fareed Redmond could have made that for a 4-point play, this thing would have been back to wide open.
Indeed. But you get a chance to score with with the shot with the clock stopped. That is a mega bonus for UConn. Do not take this for granted.
No, about 5 seconds ran off the clock for that Redmond shot. Again, tough angle, so we'll see if this is a 2 or 3 shot foul. Second one looks like it's going to be a 2-shot foul. Second one's up. Second one's good. So we're back down to a 3-point game. Either they try to inbound 2. It's going to go to Burks. He just hit the last 2, and it's going to be a foul called quickly. Burks hit the last 2. You mentioned it. He's now, what, 4 for 4, 6 for 6 on the night?
Burks is rocking us out here at oh, I'm so sorry. I got sweat all on my little sheet here there, Mark. Give me 1 second. Thank you. I'm too busy. Look, you have to flick my ear, man, when I'm looking back at what's going on in the crowd.
5 for 5. He's going to try to push this to 4. Does indeed. So it's the first. That's the important one. 17 and a half leads back to 2 possessions. Here's Burks, second free throw. The freshman gets them both. Both free throws from Stephon Burks when they need it. The lead's back to 5. UConn having to move quick. Need a 3 this time. Norman Nations pull up. Triple. Won't go. Jamison Johnson the board. And they're going to foul Burks here to finish this thing out. But that's going to do it. Kentucky will go on the road to Storrs Maestro and remain unbeaten.
This is a huge win, Marsh. The fact that they were down by so much, I think as much as 15 at one point, you said,
14,
and now,
yeah, 14,
and now
15.
what they were able to do, is show they can come into a hostile environment, not play their best game for much of the game, despite it's still good. Not play their absolute best game and come away with a win. This is sort of the battle test win that's going to carry them a long way. And the same thing goes for UConn. We just faced down the best team in the nation. And what did we do, Marsh? We hung with them for the entire game and made them have to work for it.
Burks finally misses a 3, though it's not really going to matter. Triple here from Redmond. That goes at the buzzer. It's all cosmetic. 92-89. A big win for the Kentucky Wildcats on the road. They stay unbeaten. They move to 8-0. They're going to get a 92-89 win in this one. For our partner, my partner in the booth, Maestro, for our production team, appreciate you joining us. Stay tuned here on CBS because we are going to have another one, Butler and Duke from North Carolina. That's it here on CBS and SimWorld U on CBS.
SimWorld, 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 SimWorld.
It's a place where average Joe can work on his craft and grow. Say you the new magic, yo. Well, why you ain't passing though? Better get you a basket, bro. Cause this ain't no Madden, no. This is real ball life from prep to pro. Gamma Park, this ain't no fashion show. It's the opportunity for you to be the one to shoot the three. In the clip, game on the line. They like, who is he? Must be the 2-3 or 2-4. The one twice. Coach saying do more. Scouts like that boy nice. Drive up the price, push up the stock, build up your name, stir up the pot, piss off the ops. As a player or a coach, here it is, dog. SimWorld, this is your shot.
Yo, yells.
SimWorld.
You know your boy gotta get some of this, right?
SimWorld.
Rick Blaze.
SimWorld.
Ladies love. Let's go.
I be on some ballers, trying to get my hands on a scholarship. Pretty young thing already knew my name, said she wanna try out on a scholarship. Hold up, let me PG it. Porn go past, but you know I'm gon' do it. Podcast fast, big Bob on the snacks, and you know I'm in my bag when March can't beat it. Baby, I be drippin' with my foes tipping. Shot out to the ballers, no bull like I'm Pippin. Rick Blaze hit him with the freestyle. SimWorld Hoops, man, them boys wild.
SimWorld, 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 SimWorld.
And then when their lead expanded, they turned into a highlight machine, except for the problem was there was no film in the camera.
And welcome into our second game of the night here on CBS. My name's Bubba, and I'm here with Randy Jungles. And Randy, how are we doing tonight?
Doing great, Bubba. It's a great night here down at Cameron Indoor. I'm just excited to see this game. We got a great matchup between two very good teams. Butler, one of the best defenses in the country. Duke, one of the best all-around teams in the country. So we'll see how these two match up. Should be a fun one.
It should be a very interesting one. And you mentioned, we're here in Cameron Indoor, known for their wireless fans and student section. It's really a crazy sight. I was, we got in last night and we got to see all the students. There were dang near more students lined up to get into this game last night and get good seats than there were at the polls today. How about that? I'll tell you what the priorities really are here in Durham, North Carolina. Nothing trumps Duke basketball.
This is a swing state, Bubba. This is a swing state.
It's a swing state, but I'll tell you what, a swing state or not, they want to see Duke swing that basketball around the court. That's what matters more here. And as you said, I mean, this Butler team, not just one of the best, in terms of opponents' points per game, this Butler team is #1 in the nation, allowing less than 50 points per game on average. That's insane. That's downright crazy. But how are they going to deal with the size inside from the big old Victorious Ilgauskas and the freshman Cooper Flagg?
Yeah, that's my main concern for Butler. I mean, Ilgauskas at 7'2". Butler doesn't have anyone even close to matching that. Got Christian Keys at 6'9".
Absolutely, the size could be an issue, but we know that Butler runs their patented 2-3, so maybe they're going to try and see if Duke can shoot themselves into the win. But that's a good start for Duke right there on that front as they hit the three to start us off. That was Scoochie Nelson in the corner, I believe.
I think down here, this is where the game will be won and lost. Butler's going to play good D. They'll keep themselves at least in the game, but can they get anything going offensively?
And well, they ain't going to keep themselves in the game like this if they can't set up their 2-3 defense. I mean, that's two just wide open threes in a row. And this Duke team may not be known for shooting the three. I mean, only around 5 threes made per game on 30% clip. But, I mean, you give them that wide open of a shot, I mean, these guys are going to make it. These are some of the best basketball players in SimWorld U. That's why they play for the Duke Blue Devils, a historic program. So, I mean, you can't be giving them open shots. The rotation's got to be better. Christian Keys, you mentioned him a second ago from Kentucky, junior. He's going to go to the line. Well-rounded player, averaging 10 points per game, six rebounds, and about 4 assists. He leads the team in both rebounding and assists. He is a vital part of the way that they play basketball, very team-oriented. They move the ball through every setting of their offense, and Christian Keys is kind of the center of that more times than not.
And this Butler team, like you mentioned, they probably don't have a bunch of top draft picks on their team, but they got a few key players like Keys. They got Jaquan Dolly, and they got Sean Chapman Daly. Those are the key guys to look out for in this Butler team.
Yeah, Jaquan Dolly, kid, I mean, I've seen a couple clips of him. He slams that ball down. He's a very sneaky athlete. He don't got the build like a lot of these athletes do. He's got that sleeper build. You look at him, and you see more of a Raymond Felton type when you look at Jaquan Dolly. But he's got that athleticism. Man, and then there's another three. These Blue Devils starting it off with 3 threes in a row. Call it a triple three. They almost got 4 for 4. You know, the biggie bag from Wendy's. But not a great start for this 2-3 defense from Butler.
It's a great start for Duke. How do you break a 2-3 defense, Butler? You hit the threes. Duke's going to be hitting that all night. It's a long night for Butler.
Yeah, it is. Ilgauskas going to bring it up the court. And Travion Timms, with all the shake there, left that guy scrambling but could not hit the open three that resulted from it. And, I mean, again, you got the size advantage for Duke. So this 2-3, you would think it would be a good thing to be running this 2-3, but not if Duke's going to come out shooting the way they are. And they're up to a quick 7-point lead before we're 2 minutes into this game. Travion Timms, another very talented Butler guy out of Kentucky, senior. Sean Chapman Daly gets to the rim, draws the foul on Cooper Flag, and hey, that's not a bad tactic now. Maybe just go at Coop, try and get him in foul trouble. It's not a bad tactic.
Cooper Flag is such a key player for this Duke team. If you can get him in a little foul trouble where you got to put him on the bench for a little period of time, that'll put Butler in at least a little better shape to get some stops.
It certainly won't hurt. It certainly won't hurt him now. Daly at the line. The Cameron Crazies are doing exactly what their name says. They're going crazy. It's surprising when things work out that way. Yeah, it's shocking.
Another great environment for us, Bubba.
It's what we do. We travel the country, and we watch good hoops, and we eat good food. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. On Chapman Daly misses the second one. And he was standing around moping. He didn't get back on defense. Roger clearly the other way. Can't get it to go. You can't give up those offensive boards. That's another struggle with the 2-3 defense. You have to be able to get it set. You have to box somebody out. Because if you ain't boxing somebody out, you don't got a man to go box out. You got to find a man to box out when you're running the 2-3 defense. There's no easy box out there. You have to go find a man and put your body right into it. Stripped by Travion Timms. Butler coming the other way, trying to get going in transition. They're going to reel it back out.
At least slowing Duke down a little bit.
And Butler, we mentioned they are not a great scoring team, but they are a great defensive team. They're going to want the pace of this game to be as slow as possible. Duke's going to want the opposite way. We'll see who kind of wins out in that one. But Scoochie Nelson with another three in the corner, and this is getting ugly early. Man, I made me switch out of that 2-3 defense. I don't know. It is their patented defense.
I don't know if it's time yet for Butler to switch, but it's not a good start at all. And offensively, like we mentioned, this is our main concern for them. They are just not getting anything easy.
If Duke don't get that three to fall. That was Jeremiah Minor missing that one. Quan Jolly going downhill. He's going to slow it back down though. Roderick Little on him, one of the better perimeter defenders in all of SimWorld Hoops. Ilgauskas comes up with the block. You remember last time we saw this Ilgauskas character play? Well, what do you have, like 9 blocks or something?
Oh, I remember. How could I forget?
Absolute animal time.
He was just dominating the Tide. A very good Alabama team. Ilgauskas just took that game over.
He did, and Cooper Flag got a steal, but couldn't get the bucket to go. And Ilgauskas, there he is. You say his name and he shows up. Call him Beetlejuice, call him Big V, call him whatever you want to call him, but call him a monster in the paint. That's what you call him.
Look at him pumping up the crowd. Mr. Europe loves playing in front of these big crowds.
I mean, it's a different environment over there. You look at Euro basketball, they got the right formula for their crowd. Man, that stuff is sensational.
Gotta get to a game out there, Bubba.
One day we'll get out there, but we're gonna get out here and we'll catch you on the other side.
Danger excites me, but I can't fully enjoy it when I smell like fear and body odor. So I prepare myself with a manly scent of Old Spice Danger Zone. Because even if something bad does happen to a danger zone man, it won't smell like something bad happened. Because the secret to smelling well is... And when you smell like Old Spice Danger Zone, trust me, you'll smell like you have nothing to worry about.
You smell like you look amazing.
Amazing, I know.
Introducing Old Spice Danger Zone with all-day odor protection.
Convincing the world he didn't exist.
Welcome back here, Durham, North Carolina. You know, beautiful, beautiful state, beautiful college campus they got here. Walking around, I mean, we saw some nice. They got some great trees on this campus, though. Not Butler, Randy. That's my name. Randy, they got some great trees on this campus. They got some great students, but they got some great basketball too. And Butler is nowhere to be found. I don't know if they left their skills on the bus. I don't know if they had a run-in from with the Monstars from Space Jam. I don't know what happened, but someone sucked all of the go get them out of this Butler team. Well, what do they need to do to kind of get themselves back into a competitive place to start this one?
But I think they just need to settle. Thad Mata is going to talk to them here at this timeout. You know, their defense, their 2-3 zone's not working great so far because Duke's hitting all their shots. Got to extend out a little bit, make those threes a little tougher to hit. And then offensively, try and get something going. You know, we talk this team isn't very star-studded, but maybe get Sean Chapman-Daly the ball a little more, get him working. He's probably the most talented scorer.
That he is. He can certainly put the ball in the bucket, but I mean, it's a team-oriented game. I think they got to slow this Duke team down. I mean, they just raining threes out here. It's raining inside. It's raining inside the stadium.
Yeah, but they got to do something about that. And look, you can't even really blame the 2-3 zone. A lot of it is Duke's just outrunning them right now. Butler's just not getting set.
Not able to get set. Oh man, on there. Okay, you can stop there, but I'll call that. Another three. And my minor, 2 in a row. 22-5. Number 2 Duke leads number 12. This ain't. Look, this is not a team to overlook. This is number 12 in the country, Butler. They got wins over North Carolina. They got wins. I'm sure North Carolina's sitting at home saying, what the hell? What the hell are we watching? This is the team that beat us, and we got to go against Duke twice this year? I mean, come on now. The Butler team got to get something going, at least save a little face.
Just defensively there, I don't know what Jolly was doing. He just left his man wide open for 3. I mean, this Butler defense is just all over the place right now, Butler. We've never seen this out of Butler. They're so good defensively. They give up less than 50 points per game. Duke's at 22 or 5 minutes in here. It's unbelievable.
I mean, and that's a great point. We are only 5 minutes into this game, so there's tons of time left. But the rate that this game is going and the pace of this game right now does not go in Butler's favor. They are not a fast-paced team. They want to slow you down. They want to make you move the ball a lot, tire you out when you're on offense. They're going to do the same thing on defense. They're going to move the ball and they're going to try and tire you out, make you follow a bunch of guys around. But right now they're playing at too fast a pace. They cannot keep up in a shootout with this Duke team. I don't know why they thought they could.
It's so early, Bubba. Like, this game is not over yet, not by any stretch. But for Butler to come back, because they don't have that explosive offense, they really will have to get a ton of stops here defensively. They're really going to have to lock down. That's what they're known for. So we're really we're going to have to just see them step up now. Keep the flag. Just gets a buck there. He's a great player, but Butler, figure it out.
I mean, I would love to see a competitive game. I truly would, man. There you go. Travion Timms to the rack. There's a bucket. He cuts the lead to 15.
Nice little move from Travion.
And he's quick. Somebody's going to have to be a playmaker for this team. And that's the thing about Butler. We keep talking about it, very team-oriented, but they have not had a game where somebody has had to really step up and be that guy. But today's going to have to be the day they're going to have to figure that out. Gucci Nelson got it up top. Gucci to the rim, can't get it to go. Butler's got another chance to cut into this one. Got to take every chance as it comes. It's a long game, a lot of time left. Can't rush yourself. Great movement inside, but can't get the finish on that one. Shame right there, shame right there.
Yeah, a little too fast from Butler. You're not going to get a 15-point basket. You know, it's just not going to happen. You got to get one at a time. You got to just keep fighting your way back into this game. You can't rush it there and take tough shots.
And that's another thing, though. You take your time. You don't panic. I think you got to stay composed here if you're Butler, because Duke, yes, they're getting open threes, but they're still shooting at a crazy clip so far in this game. They likely will not stay this high. If they do, I mean, it's curtains, but even if you're not playing a 2-3, if somebody's shooting from the 3 as hot as Duke is right now, you're going to go down. So, I mean, Duke is bound to go through at least a little bit of a cold spell. I hope I don't jinx them there, but bound to go through a little bit of a cold spell, and they have to be ready to take advantage there. They have to stay composed. No, really not. No cold yet. They're still on there. Roger the Little with the 3. That was the 3. You get a foot on the line, they say.
There's wide open guys every possession for Duke. You say, Bubba, you say they can't stay this hot, and they probably can't. I mean, they're wide open every time. It's not like they're hitting tough threes. They're hitting wide open threes every possession.
I mean, gosh darn, I could hit these. There's another one, and a 29-9, 20-point lead here for Duke. Look, if I am Kentucky, I just got out of a close matchup. What a game, by the way. What a game. Got out of a close matchup by UCONN. You might be losing your number 1 spot. I don't care if you're undefeated. I mean, if they keep this up right now, records only mean so much when it comes to ranking. Now, they likely will keep it, but this Duke team, they have been making a claim ever since that loss to St. Mary's. They should still be atop the rankings. They should be atop the rankings. Sean Chowden Daly off 1 foot for the I mean, but Kentucky did just take down number 7 UConn, and that's big time. That's big time close game. But I mean, this is number 12. Number 12 team in the country, another 3. It's raining inside the building right now.
Yeah, Jeremiah Minor again. I mean, he is just. Everyone on Duke is just on fire, man.
It is just not fair for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs are having a hard time. They're going to go ahead and get the bus running. Their guys out there, it's the only way they're going to be warm tonight. And look, who don't love sports? You love sports, that's why you're sitting here watching, and I hope that if you're sitting here watching, you've liked the video, because as you know, Randy and I will not be able to go get drinks and some dinner and watch the election results after this. If we don't get enough likes, we won't have any money to do it. Please go ahead and like the video if you're sitting here watching, but also, more importantly, all your friends, all your family, get them excited about SimWorld. It's a beautiful place to be. We got EM signing bonuses for head coaches and referrals and super fans and all that. Just bring people in. It's going to reward you. It's going to reward them. It's going to reward us. It's going to reward everybody around. So it's a group effort here. You tell them they can join us at discord.gg/SimWorld Hoops. Send them right to the webpage for all I care. Send them right to the webpage, simworldsports.com. Very simple, easy to remember, simworldsports.com or discord.gg/SimWorld Hoops. Oh, back in action here. 32-9. Duke up. Jeremiah Minor leading with 14 points, 4 for 7 from 3. The whole Duke team is 8 for 11 from beyond the arch, shooting about 73%. That is sensational. Okay, second chance here. Butler. They're gonna chuck up another 3. It's not how they're gonna get back in this game just doing that.
Yeah, but this Butler offense just has absolutely nothing. And again, as we talked about in the beginning of this game, I was more worried about this Butler offense than this Butler defense. Both sides of the ball have been absolutely atrocious. So,
if that's
happening, yeah, I mean, if that's going to happen, then they just have absolutely no chance here. That might be stating the obvious, but this Butler defense was supposed to be, their bright spot, number 1 in the country in opponent points per game. But they have just absolutely no answer for the Blue Devils.
I mean, and that's a great point, and I will say this just so everyone is aware. Butler allows 48.6 points per game on average. This Duke team is currently on pace to score 64 in the first half. That's unbelievable. What the hell?
And Bubba, the problem is, if this Butler team they're not built to come back like this. They're built to just keep it slow, keep it tight, keep the game within a few points, even if they're maybe out-talented by a team. Just keep it a tense game and then get a few stops, and just keep this close and maybe have a chance to win. But right now, I just don't see a way back into the game for Butler.
Not the way not the way they've been playing either. They've been trying to match through some quick shots, quick threes, but there they go. Maybe that'll fire him up. That's Darian Casanova, the smooth man with the smooth shot, freshman out of Indiana. With it. He's going to put it up, and Cooper Flagg going to slam it down. That's beautiful basketball right there. At this point, the Cameron Crazies are hitting golf claps on him. They ain't even excited anymore. They said, all right, let's just be respectful at this point. I'm kidding. These Cameron Crazies are disrespectful as hell. It's great. That's Saya Altan Gerdes from California. He's going to get a slam there. Cuts it to a 20-point lead. Not too bad. And the Duke Blue Devils are going to take a timeout, talk this one over. But Randy, here's the thing. So you're Butler. You've had a great season so far. You're 4-1. You're number 12 in the country. That's a great win. This kind of loss is a program beater. We see it in football a lot, but it happens in basketball too. This can kill all your season momentum. This can ruin you for the next couple games. You're kind of wondering, how do I put myself back together? What does Butler need to do? Look. We're talking all this smack, but it's a 20-point game, Randy. It's 20 points. It seems like a lot, but there is 29 minutes of game time left in this one. But there's got to be a way back for Butler. But let's assume that it goes the way it looks. What does Butler got to do in this game to keep their motivation up and keep rolling? That's this game.
Yeah, Bubba, I'm not overly concerned that this would be a season killer for Butler. Thad Matta's a great coach. He knows what he's doing. I mean, this Butler team, we've seen them do it before. They have some big wins on the year. It's just one of those games where, the opponent gets hot and there's kind of nothing you can do to get back into it. But, like we said multiple times, this Butler team, usually, not tonight, they have a great defense. Let's see them string together a few stops, maybe a few good possessions on offense. Next thing you know, you get this down to a 12, 14-point game even. I mean, they're not completely out of this yet. Things get a little tight here in Cameron Indoor. Let's see this Butler defense step up. Then maybe just get some easy shots up on offense. Then I'll start feeling better about this team.
It ain't over until the fat lady says. But she's warming up the pipes right now. Step back three. All teams got this. That's not. Hey. Go ahead, Randy.
That's just not the shot you want. Again, if you're Butler, we're talking about trying to get easy buckets. They're just taking step back threes contested, and they're not built to do that. These players, I mean this with all due respect to Butler, but they don't have the talent to be doing that.
Yeah, I mean not many people have the talent to be doing that, especially when you're down 22 points. Go to the rim, go to the rack. There we go. Tough in there. That's a bucket I can get behind. Like a Jay Kiefer. There you go, from Ontario. Look at that.
The worst part maybe for Butler is we haven't really even called Cooper Flagg's name that much yet. I mean, Duke hasn't even really, their stars haven't, him and Ogowski's haven't even really turned it up to the next level yet. Dude needs it, they still got that gear. That's the scary part. Speak of the devil.
Say his name and he's going up here. Scary man there. 7'2", 265 pounds. And I know I say it every time, and I know everyone knows how big he is at this point, but it's truly a sight to behold. Yeah, I mean, y'all ever seen a 7'2", 265-pound man in person?
I'm me, brother. Not till now. Not till last time we saw Ogowski's.
I mean, I used to be that big before I tore my ACL in high school. I would have made the league. Randy.
I've seen you play, Bubba. I've seen the tape. Believe me.
There's an endorsement from Randy Jungleson. I absolutely should have made the league.
Pesky courts, brother. Pesky courts. You slipped, you tore your ACL, and that was it.
Jaquan Jolly Jr. to the rack, can't get it to go, and you find yourself, I don't know about you, Randy, but I keep finding myself rooting for this Butler team to make some kind of a comeback out of this game, and I keep finding myself heartbroken.
Well, you know, Bubba, if they don't make a comeback, it just makes it harder on us. We got to start diving into the C and D material. What are we going to talk about? The election results? I don't want to talk about that. I'm going to talk about basketball.
I'm not really trying to do that.
What to talk about?
I mean, what'd you have for lunch, Randy?
Let's give them to the second half before we get into the lunch.
All right. I'll rein my horses in. Here we got the 265-pounder going right back. Hey, what do you do about that? When the biggest guy on your roster is 6'9", what are you going to do about that? Talk about eating lunch. He's eating that interior for lunch. Now they've decided we're kind of tired of shooting the three. It got boring too easy. We're going to go inside. Well, no, that's too. How many blocks do they got too? And this is since is Duke. I knew they were good. I knew this Duke team was good. I think we all did, but I mean, again, this is not a nobody team here in Butler. This is a very good Butler team. Don't look at though.
Not right now, Bubba. Not right now.
And I mean, you're looking at Roger Little. He's at 7 points. He's 3 for 4, but it's his defense. You've seen him already contribute on that side. He's got a block, and he's a lockdown defender. He's a guy. He's not big. He's not very big. I mean, he's 6'1". But he's a guy that SWBA teams are going to be calling for because of his prowess on the defensive end and his absolutely next level athleticism. He's the kind of guy. He's the kind of guy you want to go watch play in person because you can't believe somebody can jump that high or move that quick laterally.
It's so fun to watch all over the floor, Bubba. I mean, he's got over 2 steals per game for this Duke team. I mean, those add up over the course of the season. Leading the team there, leading the team in rebounds. I mean, he's just a very solid player in every aspect.
You know what? That's a great point. Not only can he defend, not only is he a freak athlete, he's leading this team in rebound over Victorious Ilgauskas. By the way, I don't know if you knew this, but he's 7'2", 265 pounds. Roger Little is a fraction of that. He's 6'1", 210. That is a beefy 6'1" kid, though. I'll tell you that.
And that's why NBA teams are going to really love looking at Roger Little.
SWBA teams will love looking at Roger Little. He's versatile, and he's a very composed guy. You see a lot of guys who have his physical attributes at this age, and they can often be a little more raw, a little more, need a little coaching up, but he's a very composed player. He's got a high IQ. He is a very, very suitable point guard for your team at any level. He can defend anybody on the other end at point guard. He can facilitate decently well. If there's anything in his game that he's got to work on more than anything else, it's probably his facilitating. He does it just fine. Inside the Cooper flag. Can't get up, and there's another board for this Duke team.
Bubba, I was very excited to actually come watch Cooper Flag play some basketball again tonight. But like you said, we haven't really even seen him have to do too much. Like he's even sat for a little bit. They're able to give him a little bit of rest. So he's on the floor right now. I'm interested to see, we get a little action out of Coop tonight. One of the best players in the country.
Well, I mean, at this point, I'll take whatever I can get. It's going to be exciting. Roger Little to the inside. He can't get it to go. There you go. And again, they're putting together a couple stops here and there. But they can't seem to convert those stops into points on the other end. And I mean, you're not going to come back if you can't do that. No. Ooh, Tim's to the rack. That's a nice little move.
Maybe on Tim's, Butler really hasn't shown much light tonight, but Travion Timms he's put together a nice little performance for himself here.
There's a stop. You got a stop, a bucket, and now you go get another stop here. Oh, never mind. You take a bad shot. That was probably just how they drew it up.
Well, their offense is so stagnant right now. You look at that. You look at Duke. So much movement. The ball's moving all around. That's why they're getting all these open shots. Butler, they're trying to ISO all these guys, and they're not talented enough to do it.
And it's just not their game. It's not their game. We've seen all year. They're very team-oriented. It's not their game. They're trying to play to Duke's pace. Trying to play Duke's game. You're not going to beat Duke at their own game.
harping on it. It's just not a great offensive team in general. So when the defense lets you down like this, you start to try and panic, maybe move a little too quick, and then you just got no answers.
No answers at all. And right there, Duke now has 49 points. That is more than Butler allows on average per game, and it's still the first half. If that's not a sign of doom, I don't know what is. Mario Duval with it now, and you look at this, and that's the thing when you talk about programs like Duke. Oh, Mario Duval looks like he wanted to slam that one, but I stopped on the way. But you look at a team like Duke, and you got the guys that you know are going to be, going on to the pros. You got the Cooper Flags. He's not eligible this year, but there's Roger. There's an athleticism. That's beautiful. But you got the Cooper Flags, the Victoria Gauskas, who even though they're not eligible this year, they'll make great pros. They'll make the pros. Then you got, the guys already projected to go this year. You got Demario Duval, Roger Little, and Jeremiah Minor. But then you got everybody else, and all of them are very well got a chance to play in the pros, and that's kind of what separates the blue bloods like Duke, Kentucky, UCLA. Every player on that roster is likely a future pro, whether it be in the SWBA or overseas or wherever it may be. They're going to get paid to play basketball at some point.
Link's Beef Jerky presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Hey there, big guy. You look a little tired. Why don't you come over here and sit down? Yeah, come on. That's right, sit down.
Jack Link's Jerky. Feed your wild side.
And welcome back here to this game we got here. Leads 53-27. Randy, we got to do our jobs here. So I ask you, what have you seen so far from these two teams?
Yeah, so far, Bubba, Duke, this is just amazing basketball. They're showing why they're the number 2 team in the country. They're showing why they could arguably be number 1 in the country. Obviously, we had a great performance from Kentucky earlier, but Duke looks awesome. Simple as that. They're just shooting the ball well, playing great defense. Meanwhile, Butler, it's tough right now. It's just one of those games where nothing's going right for you. They got off to a cold start. Duke is hitting everything. Butler got into a hole, and their offense they're just not getting off offensively to recover. Now they're down 26 near the end of the first half, and yeah, it's tough to see a way back from them right now. But like you talked about earlier, how do you finish this game on a strong note that doesn't kind of just put a huge bump in your season? Let's see some more movement on offense, move the ball around, get some easy shots, get some confidence in your boys, get some stops, make this a respectable score at the end of the game.
I couldn't agree more. At least play your game. At least get the reps in playing your game. Stop trying to play Duke's game with them. It's not working. It was detrimental. It has led to tragedy. This game is not over yet. I'm contractually obligated to tell you. Only 26 points of the whole second half. It's not over yet. just play your game. Just play. Get the reps in your game, and you never know. If you play your game, good things might happen. Well, there's a missed three from old Golden Boy Hoop. Butler cannot capitalize.
Cooper's, he's just good all over the place, man. You know, I know he missed that three, but obviously he's amazing offensively. Pretty good defensively as well. I mean, there's just really not a flaw you could think of in his game. It's just what makes this Duke team so dangerous because they have so many good players. I mean, like we mentioned, Duke hasn't even dominated tonight, and they're still just blowing them out.
Absolute blue blood activity here. Duke at home. They're putting on a show for their Cameron crazies. And something tells me the bars around here in Durham are going to be popping off after this one, man. And that's going to do it for the first half. Duke up 55-27 on Butler. Stay with us here. We're going to have a great second half. Butler is, we're going to see if they can get it together. And Randy, before we hit the half, who we're going to do things a little differently here. Who from this Duke team has surprised you tonight with their play?
Yeah, it's tough to say surprised because he's obviously a very good player, but man, Roderick Little, I was not familiar with your game like that. I mean, I knew he was a good player. Obviously, he's projected to be a pro player. He is just absolutely on fire, just showing where what he can do all over the floor, defensively, offensively. I mean, man, I'm just loving watching him play tonight.
We love great two-way players. You know, versatility is the name of the game here. And the other end, I'm gonna ask you, if there's a way back into this game. I know we just talked about they got to play their game, but who can be that guy and step up for Butler? Well, we'll come back to it then. Well, you know what? We'll talk in the second half. Well, I gotta get some popcorn. Welcome back now. We got a 50-50, 55-27 game here. Duke up. And Randy, you were telling me during the half, you see a lot of different types of blowouts. Could you classify these blowouts for the fans at home?
Sure, but yeah, there's a bunch of blowouts. You know, you got the boring blowouts, maybe where it's just like one really good team versus kind of the crappy team. You know, it's not too exciting. There's really no interest in the game. And then you got exciting blowouts. Blowouts that you're like, wow, I can't take my eyes off it. It's kind of a train wreck. It's kind of beautiful. That is this blowout. This Duke team, they are beautiful right now. They're playing beautiful basketball. They look unbelievable. I can't take my eyes off this game. This Butler team, I mean, they're just melting down in front of our eyes. I mean, it's one of these games that, yes, it's a blowout. I don't know if we're going to get a close second half. I don't know if Butler's going to cut it at all. But, man, I can't take my eyes off this one. And I'm just happy to be here with you, Bubba.
It's a beautiful environment, and you know what? It is a beautiful game despite the blowout. Yeah, I think I agree with you there, and I think what we're seeing is beautiful on one side and not so beautiful on the other, but it's kind of, I keep waiting to see, like, when is this Duke team going to slow down? When is this Butler team going to show up? It just keeps going. It's like, you can't take your eyes off it. It's like, wow, it's almost magical the way that Duke can just keep beating down on a number 12 team in the country like this.
And Bubba, it's just one of those games where you're gonna look back in a few weeks, a few months, and just be like, wow, Duke really did that. I mean, you're gonna be looking at their resume and just be like, this is why people think Duke is one of the best teams in the country. This performance tonight is it's an exclamation point.
I would absolutely hate to be the team that Duke has to play next. I would hate it. There's Jeremiah Minor's gonna take a step back three. Can't get that one to fall. Thank God for Butler's morale.
Bubba, you know what I am interested in here? At least Butler, again, has done nothing offensively. And to start this half, they're looking pretty slow again. Look, no movement here. They're just trying to ISO. And worked out there. But again, I just want to see what this Butler team is going to do to build some confidence going forward, at least on the offensive side of the ball, which they've already struggled with so far this season here.
Well, yeah, it's not. I mean, they shot 27% in the first half. That is never, ever going to get it done. Not even even if your defense is the best in the league, shoot 27%, you're not going to get it done. And there's another miss for him. So, keep racking them up. All right, well, Randy, no, go ahead. Go ahead now.
I was just going to say, I was excited to watch this Butler defense tonight, this 2-3 zone. I mean, just ferocious defense. You know, that's what they're known for, and they've just gotten cooked. They've just gotten put on a skillet and cooked.
They don't look so ferocious, but speaking of skillets and cooking, you told me to wait. What'd you have for lunch today, Randy?
Yeah, Bubba, I had a turkey salad, some vegetables sliced up in there, threw some chickpeas in there actually, just to maximize my protein. So you know, it was a good lunch. It was a good lunch. I'm excited though. After this game, get ourselves some burgers down at Devil's Tap House.
Oh man, I've not been to that place yet, but you know, me and Randy, we got this tradition here. We call these games on Tuesday nights on CBS. We hit the quote-unquote best burger joint on every college campus we go to. I will say the Bulldog Burger Shack out there in Stark Vegas, that was one of the best ones I've ever had. So we'll see if we can compete with that out here in Durham.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing in Starkville, but man, Bubba, that burger, I'm still thinking about that.
Well, hopefully they can beat it out tonight. But here you go. But I mean, it's a 25-point game. It was 30 a second ago. There's 16 minutes left. You know what? I think this Butler team, they just got to keep their morale up, keep playing their game. Christian Case, it's going to be hard to keep your morale up when you're going against Ilgauskas. Ilgauskas Case gets him back. Case gets him back. Block for block right there.
The Duke crowd's not happy right now, too, with that. I mean, they thought they wanted to foul there, but I think that was good defense from Keys.
Great defense from Keys. I don't know how he got up that high, and they're going to call foul on Roger Glitter. And you feel momentum kind of turning here. I don't know if it's going to turn enough, but there's something turning. The Butler players, they are not backing down. They're still chirping right now, trying to get in these Duke players' heads. They know they got time, but they know that if they're going to use this time and anything's going to happen, they got to start now. This has got to start now if they're going to change the tide of this game.
And this is one of those things that, you know, you could end up looking like a fool if it gets even worse, if you're chirping right now. But I kind of love the intensity from the Butler guys. They're saying, you know what, I know we're getting blown now. I know y'all are the better team right now, but I don't care. We're not going to back down on y'all. You're bigger than us. You might be a little more athletic than us, but we're a good basketball team, so we're not going to let you just walk all over us like that. I like the energy from Butler.
A blowout, you mentioned ugly blowouts. Those ugly blowouts happen when the other team kind of gives up, and it just kind of becomes sad. It's just sad to watch. But this Butler team, they do keep fighting. The fight isn't going well, but they're fighting.
There's Sean Chapman-Daly again, seeing him a little more active. Love to see that for Butler.
And the Blue Devils going to take a timeout, lead down to 23, and A good time to remind y'all, SimWorld Sports, it's the best community and it's the most immersive experience you're going to find anywhere online. Definitely the most immersive sporting experience you're going to find. I don't know whatever other things y'all are paying attention to watching. I promise they ain't got the value, ain't got the product the SimWorld Sports got here. So immerse yourself in it. There's more to immerse yourself than you can even handle. I promise you can try to immerse yourself in it all, but I'll bet you can't even immerse yourself in all of it. But do your best. I'd love to see you prove me wrong. Immerse as hard as possible. I'll see you in there. I love keeping up with what's going on in SimWorld. I hope y'all do too. We can talk about it out there in that media feed. You know, that's how you make yourself better. And here in the chat right here, you're gonna get your IQ up. You're gonna get your IQ up. Talking in the stream chat. And if you want to get your team chemistry up, which nothing's more important than team chemistry, you're gonna want to be talking in your locker room. Talk to your teammates, talk to your coaches. Get that team chemistry up, win some games. That's what Butler needs to be doing.
And Bubba, there's nothing like getting immersed, you know? Nothing I like more than just some nice immersion.
Immersion, submersion, whatever you want to call it. And there's Cooper Flag. He's going to drain a three in somebody's face. Absolute disrespect.
Cooper Flag? That's a guy who's good at basketball.
Bill said. Hey, I ain't got nothing to add to that. Inside gets his own board there. Gets it out, and that's going to be an air ball. They're shouting air ball. They're giving them the air ball chant here in Canada. Another three for... They just keep shooting these threes. Oh! But that a lot of fire on your butt. Christian Keys with the rebound and the putback slam and one. Christian Keys. Yes, Keys. Look, that was a nice one. He's going hard here in this second half. He's going right at these bigs for Duke. He's not backing down at all. He says, I'm going to at least make a name for myself. I got this chance on national TV. I'm at least going to look good. He's going to go to the line. If he can cut this to a 23-point lead.
Well, I don't think we've given enough credit tonight to this Blue Devils crowd. I mean, they've been awesome all night, and it's been a blowout for most of the night. So it's been hard for them to really have a major impact on the game because it's almost like lackadaisical at this point, and they kind of just accepted they're winning this. But I mean, they've been awesome. They've been loud. They've been into this game, and I just love coming to Cameron Indoor. It's just always a great time, great environment here.
They're showing a great example of staying engaged in the game. And that's Adelson Sampaio. Adelson Sampaio will get the slam.
Brazilian, Bubba.
Brazilian. We like it down there in Brazil. We take a couple trips down there in the summer, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place.
Make sure you like and share with your friends so we can afford those trips to Brazil.
Yes, like and share so we can go to Brazil. And you see that block from Victorious Ilgauskas on that dunk? I mean, oh my God.
This guy, he's a monster. Just an absolute, just unstoppable. Oh man, Bubba.
Well, good luck. Good luck. Did you know that he is 7'2", 265 pounds?
Not quite sure I did, Bubba. Not quite sure I did.
That is a big old boy. He's a freshman. He's like 19 years old.
Across from Lithuania.
What do they feed them over there?
You know what I was wondering, Bubba? How many calories do you think Ilgauskas takes down a day? Like
gotta
4,000
be
or 5,000?
Somewhere in there, easy. And that's on a cut.
Keep feeding that boy. Just get him bigger. Why not?
Well, thank God VIL deals are a thing now because I don't know how else he could afford all his groceries. Jeremiah Minor. Go to the rack. Can't get it to go. Still, it's a rough going here, but we've seen what I will tell you you've seen, and I'll tell you because I know this for a fact that we've got SWBA scouts in the building, which you'll find at almost any top 25 matchup. I don't know if that's going to be so good for these Butler players, but guys like Roger Little, Jeremiah Minor to me, he has made the biggest kind of surprise to me. I know he's a good player. We all know he's a great player. But he has been sensational tonight. He was leading the team in the first half in scoring. He still is at this moment. He's got 18 points, 1 rebound, 6 assists, shooting very efficiently. I think he's taken the chance on national TV to say, all right, I know I got a lot of really good teammates. You're looking at them. Hey, take a look at me. Take a look at what I can do. I can handle the ball. I can create my own shot. I can shoot off the pass. I'm a very quick little guy. Another guy that's just gonna make a case to be a pro guy in the coming years.
I couldn't agree more with you there, Bubba. You know, the knock on him is that he's only 5'11", right? For the SWBA, he'd be a little small compared to some other guards out there. But the way he can shoot, I mean, he's a useful player. And, you know, in the right system, he can be a very good pro player. So he's really just showing tonight how he just can fit in perfectly in this Duke offense. And I think how he can fit in some SWBA offenses.
He will definitely find a way to get somewhere. Like you said, he's small, but he's scrappy. He's a scrappy guy. He plays hard, and that's what you want to see out of those. You're vertically challenged, as I like to call it. Sometimes you gotta be the scrappiest guy on the floor.
Let's see again. I just want to see if Butler. I mean, again, they still got a bunch of their starters in. Let's see if they can show any life on offense here and just, you know, give them something to move forward. They can hang their hat on. Shots like that, it's just, it's not great there. You know, Sean Chapman-Daly is a good player, but you don't want him taking that contested three.
It's not their game to be shooting like that, and it's very clear from the get-go in this one that Duke got them out of their game, and they got them to try and play their game. And I mean, we talked about it before the game, Randy. That you got a team that likes to play slow in Butler, you got a team that can and likes to play fast in Duke, and whoever was going to win that pace battle was likely going to come out with it tonight. And it is very clear who has dominated that all game.
Yeah, and we talked about before the game how we could see a path to a Duke Love victory tonight. We didn't really see it from the Butler side. We said Butler could win this game, but you know if they do, it's going to be a close one. But we saw a path to a Duke Love victory, and this is exactly what we thought it would go like. You know, the Butler defense they're starting to play a little better in the second half, but you know the Butler defense not being as locked down as usual, and then their offense just having absolutely nothing. And that's the way it went tonight. And that's sometimes the way it goes. You know, it's basketball. A lot of variance. Sometimes we just don't have it.
It can't be your night. It cannot be your night every night. That's the thing, and tonight was absolutely not Butler's night. And it's okay. There's 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left in this one. It's going to be Alton Gerdez bringing it up for him. He's going to give it over to Sean Chapman-Daly, just trying to do something for his team.
I really do like Sean Chapman-Daly as a player, though, Bubba. I will tell you. I know it hasn't been a great night for him, but he's a good player. He's got there. He's out of Indiana. I mean, he leads them in points scored per game. He's a talented guy.
Absolutely, and I mean that's something you got to remember. We talk about it. This is an ugly game for Butler, but this is still a great Butler team. If anything, I would call this game more of a. I would say that this is more of a testament to how good this Blue Devils team is, and kind of a knock on this Butler team. Although this Butler team did come out and is seemingly not ready to play. But I think it's Duke that made them look that way. We got a timeout here from the Blue Devils. Kind of taking in all the Cameron praises. Welcome back here. Well, I mean, top performer. I don't even know if I give top performer to anybody. I think it's a whole new team. But Jeremiah Miner's going to get a top performer of the night from me, anyways. He's been sensational. 18 points on pretty efficient shooting. He has led this team. But I mean, another guy. I want to highlight somebody else. I want to highlight the 7'2" 265-pound Victorious Ilgauskas, who's had somewhat of a quiet game. He's had some loud moments, but for the most part, hasn't been the center of attention here. 10 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 blocks for him. I mean, he's doing what we know he does.
Bubba, I think you might agree with me here. Ilgauskas might be my favorite player in the whole country to watch play basketball. He's 7'2", sure, right? People might just think, oh, he's just a giant, but he's a good basketball player.
Absolutely. I think people do not give him credit for his footwork, not necessarily offensively. He's got some post game, but he's not the most sensational in the post on offense. But I'm talking about his footwork on defense. The way he positions himself offensively in the paint is next to none in the whole country as a freshman. I mean, it is. You just got to start paying attention to those things when you watch this guy play. And like you said, when we're talking about our favorite players to watch play in person, it's one, the size of the man is phenomenal to withhold with your own eyes in person. TV makes him look a little smaller, I'll say. And two, you notice those little things, the footwork he's got on defense. Nobody ever talks about footwork on defense for big man. It's all about defensive slides and everything. But he knows how to position himself in the right place with great timing to constantly be getting those blocks. And if he's not getting blocks, he is always affecting a shot. He is always affecting a shot when he's on the floor.
And it's easy to say, oh, he's 7'2". It's easy for him to be in the right position. But even if you're 7'2", if you get caught out of position, you're going to get beat. But he's always in the right spot, man. He's always in the right spot. And he's just so hard to play against this Duke team when you have him anchoring down that defense.
He's reliable. He is reliable. It looks like Butler's going to press a little bit. They've switched to a man quite a bit ago, and hemorrhage some of this lead. But it's floated around this same deficit for most of the second half, and that's going. Then DeMario Duval to the line for 2. It's a foul on Javante Thornton, the freshman out of North Carolina, hometown kid right here. I'm sure his family's in the stands, maybe still in the stands, may have gone home. But Duval, the young man out of Georgia, in British Georgia.
Like you talked about, Bubber?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say that this Duke team, they're so deep. I mean, Duval, again, another name we haven't really been talking about too much tonight. He's another SWBA prospect. Again, they haven't even really needed him tonight. It's just everyone on this Duke team. So they have just got so much talent everywhere you look.
It's a deep team, and they are striking fear into the hearts of America tonight on CBS. Great move by Travion Timms, though. There you go, young man.
Travion's had some moments tonight.
Go get yourself some points. Oh, and a foul called on Duval. All right. Hey, that's good basketball. Get yourself in there. Talk about footwork. You get yourself in the right position. I believe that was Jaquan Jolly Jr. who took that. That's good stuff.
You like to see that. You're down 24 points here with 8 minutes left. You're still taking a charge. That's the type of thing Coach loves to see.
That's how you earn more minutes on the floor. You play like that. Hey, in a 2-point lead, that's the least it's been since halftime. Cooper's flag. Oh no. Good luck. A 6'8" guy with that kind of athleticism who's handling the ball like that, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do?
Oh, it's that you want to double him, but then at the same time, this Duke team, everyone on the floor is dangerous. So you double Coop, well, you're just leaving yourself just to get destroyed by someone else. So it's tough to say. You really just need a guy who can match up with him a little bit defensively. And Butler just, they're like we said, they're usually good defense, but they don't have a guy who could just go match up, just man up on Coop.
Very, very few teams do. But Jaquan Jolly Jr. with a smooth take to the basket. We've got a 20-point game here.
A little bit of anxiety running over Cameron Indoor right now. I don't think the fans are too nervous, but it's gotten a little bit quieter here. People are starting to pay attention to the game again.
Yeah, I think they're fine. They just got back up on their feet. I just saw a young man down 2 Bears in 10 seconds. I think they're going to be fine here. I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, maybe my concern was a little too soon because That alley-oop there by Cooper Flag again. I mean, he's just a monster.
And get him right back into the game. It's like we got Sports Center top 10 right in front of us. SimWorld Today top 10 right in front of us.
Get in defensively and then grabbing the board. What doesn't this guy do?
I mean, there's a reason he is the golden boy of basketball right now. Saw him play with Team USA in their scrimmages, and there's a reason. There's a reason everybody loves to watch this kid play.
Yeah, I know the polls closed in North Carolina, but we may get some write-ins for Cooper Flag tonight.
I'm sure we got quite a few. For Cooper Flag. Coach K, often a leading candidate here in Durham, so and that's going to be off. They're going to call that off Butler, off Keys, and Duke's going to keep possession.
Well, Bubba, what are you going to be drinking tonight?
Randy, I'll tell you what. I'm going to go down to what's the name of the little place we're going after this?
The Devil's Craft House.
Nope, I'm gonna get whatever the staff there tells me is good. That's what I'm drinking. But what about you?
You know what? I don't know. I'm gonna get a juicy burger and then just kind of see where that takes me. Maybe a Coors Light, maybe an old fashioned. We'll see how things go.
You do love. You gotta love when the mountains are blue.
Nothing beats it, you know.
Roger Little is showing that defense. Roger Little, the mountains are blue. Mountains are blue when Roger Little's on defense. You are ice cold. You are ice cold when you gotta play against Roger Little.
Roger Little, you know, like we mentioned, he's good. He gets a bunch of steals. You know, he's shifty, but man, he can block you and just like stuff you like that. Man, I mean, he's just showing everything he can do tonight. Great night for Roger Little, especially with these scouts in attendance.
Flag there with another dunk. We already knew he could do that, but we don't get tired of seeing it.
Wonder when these Duke backups are coming in. Maybe after this timeout, maybe you say, "All right, Coop, thanks for tonight, but how about you just take a seat?"
Let's get the walk-on sometime. Come on now.
Aboard, folks. Just go ahead and take any empty seat that you see.
I hope it's not contagious. So I do have it. When your mom wakes up, can you tell her about me?
And welcome back here, Durham, North Carolina. Andy, look, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what to ask you about this game. What's been said has been said. There's not a whole lot to talk about. But what I will tell you about is, where do you rank this campus in terms of campuses that we visited in SimWorld?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know what? Oh, man, I think let's put them at number 2. You know, Tuscaloosa. I'm gonna have to put Tuscaloosa at number 1. You know, I love Tuscaloosa. Been there plenty of times. You know, we got a nice thick, juicy burger at the Ave Pub. And then this campus, man, it just kind of blew me away. Like you mentioned, a lot of beautiful trees, a lot of great evergreens down here. You know, in Durham, it's a beautiful city. And that's nothing against Starkville, Stark Vegas. You know, sorry, I'm putting you guys at number 3 right now. Starkville is a great town. Love Stark Vegas. They call it Stark Vegas for a reason. It's fun. But yeah, it doesn't have the same charm as a southern city like Tuscaloosa. And Durham's just a little prettier. But hey, Starkville, I still love you. Bulldog Burger, man, I'm still thinking. That burger's made my mouth water right now. I'm still thinking about that grease just filling up in my mouth.
Oh, come on, stop it now. You're going to get me going. I mean, yep, I couldn't agree more. And I mean, Tuscaloosa, it makes sense. They got all that money running in from that football program over there the past few years. But this Duke campus is truly, it's a different vibe. Much smaller, much kind of more cozy. So it's a beautiful place.
And you know, for a school that's so known to be nerds, as they like to say, they love their basketball here, man. They were lined up, ready to go for this game. I mean, these fans, they love the Blue Devils, and you just love to see it. I mean, this is what Duke's known for. They're known for academics. They're known for basketball. And I mean, what's better than that?
I mean, I couldn't agree more. The fandom here for the Duke Blue Devils, this is what SimWorld U Sports are all about. This is what collegiate athletics are all about. It's the fans, it's the atmosphere, it's the undying support for your school, and Duke's basketball fans are a picture of that.
Come to Cameron Indoor Stadium, and then you hit Cameron Indoor Library and do some studying right after. It's just a beautiful thing to see.
Well, we should go do some studying after this.
We will do some studying at Devil's Craft House, where I'll be drinking at least 2 or 3 Coors Lights.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, I'll be studying the bottom of my glass for sure after this one. But let's see how this one turns out. We got 3 minutes left. Who's going to add a couple? There's Cooper Flag. We're going to get a couple more Cooper Flag dunks in here, and I'm not going to be upset about it.
This crowd loves it. I mean, they're still going crazy here. No one has left this building. I mean, man, this Duke Blue Devils crowd, absolutely awesome. But please get Cooper Flag out of the game. I mean, I just don't want to see anything happening. This game is over.
He's still doing stuff like that. You see that block?
I know, but he is too good, man. He's too good. He's too good. But I want to see him healthy. And this game is long now. But he is fun to watch.
Don't you cut my Coop time short now. You don't get to see him in person every so often. So I mean, come on now. And don't cut my Coop down there. Don't cut it short. And one, Sean Chapman Daly. There's your guy. There's that CD.
Sean Chapman Daly. That's a great finish. The hoop and the hard. He's a good player. It's not been a good night for Butler, but Sean Chapman Daly, he's a guy to watch. I mean, he's a freshman. He might be a prospect for the SWBA next year. We'll see. But he's a player that needs to, he's going to need to step it up more if Butler wants to be a contender this year.
Bubba would like to be a contender, but that went with my knees back in high school. So.
What was it? An ACL, PCL, and MCL?
Yep, and don't ask me how it happened. All right, Randy. Don't push me too hard. I mean, I was on a back porch at a buddy's house. The porch gave out, and I fell. So it was not athletic related. What? I was on the JV basketball team at the time.
Bubba, I've seen the tape from that JV basketball team. I mean, to say you would have made the league is an understatement. I mean, you look pretty good out there on that JV squad.
I would agree. I mean, look, not a lot of seniors are playing JV, but they needed me. So.
You're a team player, Bubba. That's why I love working with you.
What I do. It's who I am. It's who I am. But this Duke team, they're just kind of. Coop is off the floor. You got your wish. They cut my Coop time short, so I hope you're happy. We're seeing Sawyer Sutphin get some time. We're seeing some guys get some time. Jeremiah Minor's on the floor doing his thing. See if he can add to that point total.
I'd love to see some walk-ons here, like you said. It's fun. Give them some time against the number 12 team ranked in the country, and while the crowd's still here. But I'm not going to tell John Shire what to do. I mean, this Duke team, they're number 2 in the country for a reason. But I want to get your take. What do you think the polls are going to look like after this? I mean, do you think Duke moves up, or do you think they're going to stay at 2 because of Kentucky's big win earlier?
I think it's hard to take a team down when they keep winning, and it's over. I mean, if they had beaten it had been a close game against an unranked team, I think there's a case for Duke to move up. But I don't see you taking the only unranked team that high in the polls down after a win over number 7 UConn. I don't see it happening. But I will say that Duke has solidified the number 2 spot. There's no shot they lose the number 2 spot to the Crimson Tide right behind them, who actually are tipping off shortly at 10 p.m. Eastern, so who knows? They could even drop their game and have no case for it. But I will say the polls will likely look the same at number 1 and number 2 come Sunday when that gets released.
Yeah, Bubba, I love the Tide, but think Duke has really proven that they're the better team right now. You know, they won in Coleman Coliseum already, and then tonight they're just absolutely dominating what we thought was a good Butler team. So, you know, Duke really deserving of that number 2 spot, and I'm really excited to see where the season goes for them. They're a true contender for the national title.
Yeah, anytime you got Golden Boy Coop on your team, you absolutely are.
And the expectations coming into this year were sky high, and so far they're living up to them.
And it's crazy. You mentioned it early in the second half, but this Cameron Indoor Stadium is still full to the brim. These kids and these fans are staying in their seat until that buzzer sounds at the end of the game, and I'm thoroughly impressed with that. But it is going to make more traffic for us getting out of here.
And I just hope, like we mentioned, I hope they're headed to the library, because I just want to get a seat at Devil's Craft House, get myself a nice cold beer and a nice warm burger, but without too long of a wait.
I had a buddy from our production team go ahead and run over, save us a booth, so we're good.
Bubba, that's why I love you, man.
You got to think ahead. You got to get that booth. He's once we leave the building, he's going to go ahead and get the first round, so it should be ready to go for us, nice and crisp. But hey, that's going to be it here. Duke Blue Devils, number 2 team in the country, with a 88-65 blowout of the number 12 Butler Bulldogs. What an absolute showing from these Blue Devils. From myself, Bubba, from Randy Jungleson, from the other Randy out in the truck. You don't want to know about that, Randy. And from everybody here at CBS, thank you for being with us here tonight. And we'll see you next week. See the game, be the game. See the game, be the game.
This has been a presentation